Bonjour.
The only French he knows. What was a word?
Merci beaucoup, Pee-wee.
Yeah.
Yes. What? Here we go. Nice and easy. Quick start to a quick show. Well, not a quick show, but a quick hitting show. This is the Exploding Heads Horror Podcast, episode 20. I am here with my cohorts, my co-hosts, my homies. I am here with the French Canadian extremist Christian. How are you?
I am good.
All right.
That's my French. I have that and je suis désolé.
I knew you would have something.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it, Canadian. I knew you'd have something good. And I have no idea what that is. I could say what I said. I could say fucking menage a trois. That's all I know.
Yeah.
It is French, right? It's got
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
On the twat. Okay.
Twat.
Cat. Another word for pussy.
The twat.
And cat.
I'm sorry. I don't know why it hit me so late.
Oh.
And I'm also here with the French pastry.
Hey.
What's
I have a big croquembouche.
I don't even know.
A
We're off
croquembouche is
to
a French
a ravingly
pastry.
good start. Yeah.
Look up croquembouche. I'm telling you.
Is it a Jewish thing?
No, it's a French pastry.
Oh, I thought. Oh, yeah. How stupid am I? A Jewish French pastry. Okay.
You're thinking of macaroons.
Macaroons. Yes.
Hey, macaroon.
Macaroons. That's
Pepe Le Pew.
Once
French
again,
toast.
wow. Well, okay. Well, that's pretty good. All right, guys, everybody. This is an NFA show, which is no fucking around. That means no intro. That means all emails and voicemails and all that stuff that we usually do. And Brandon's contest or whatever the hell he's doing is all going to be addressed on the next show. So
Undressed on the next show? Ooh, this also means no fun. Wah, wah.
Oh, God damn it.
This is
Yeah.
NFA, straight up. It's NFA OTF. How about that?
Now
yeah?
I'm lost.
Oh, yeah? Hold on, I'll tell you what it is.
It's a one-take fucker.
Thank you, Richard.
Jesus.
OTF.
Richard Simmons joining us for the French Extreme Show.
Oh, wouldn't that be something? It's a one-take fucker. So, guys, if you don't know, now you know. We're going to do the French Extreme Revolution. We're going to talk about 5, count them, 5 movies that are French Extreme. They came from France. They're extreme. They're well-known. And we're getting into them.
They're
Zut
French,
alors.
they're extreme.
Nice, Christian, you're bringing it with those freaking
That's all I
French.
got. Like
Les
two or
Miserables.
three saves. Yeah, Les Miserables.
He's going through his whole repertoire in 2
Yeah.
minutes.
Repertoire. Everything.
Nice.
To a twat is my favorite of the night so far. I'm sorry.
All right. I've always thought that ever since I was a kid.
To a twat. All
So,
right.
yeah. What are the 5 movies we're doing? Martyrs, Inside, High Tension, so they don't bust my balls, Frontiers, or Frontiers, I don't know,
Frontiers.
whatever the hell you want.
Let's call it Frontiers.
Frontiers.
Yeah.
Frontiers.
Hot.
Huat.
What?
Huat. Huate. Huat. Yes. Don't tell me. And Trouble Every Day. These are the 5 that were chosen. We're going to get right into it. Okay, right off the bat, let me say this. We're going to try to go spoiler-free in most of them. Movies like Tension and Martyrs, I think things deserve to be addressed in the conversation.
Things need to be addressed.
Yes, people are going to want to hear them. I think that most people have seen most of these movies anyway, so we're not going to sweat it. But we're not going to spoil for the sake of just talking about everything that happens in it, but only for those instances. So, you know, you can rest easy. The head's got your back.
Hall of Fame might be at stake here. We must spoil some.
Oh, yes, and this is cutting edge podcasting here, by the way. We are doing something, I don't know if it's ever been done. I mentioned it on the last show, and we're setting an alarm so the show doesn't go too long.
I love this idea.
Thank you. I think
I really do.
think it's groundbreaking, cutting edge type podcast history here. I don't know if it is, but I'm claiming it. Now, why not?
Well, we got 30 minutes per film.
I was going to go 40, but these guys convinced me to do 30.
Hey, look, here's the
I'm
thing.
going to hold them to it. These two guys are not going to be able to do 30 for some of these movies. Maybe I'm wrong. And it doesn't matter, because when the alarm goes off, it's like...
Wrap it up.
That's it. Wrap it up, give your grade, on to the next one. So I guess we're going to add the element of suspense, possibly. Maybe people are going to be sitting, listening to their podcast when it starts, and they're going to be counting down saying, oh, nobody's mentioned that girl yet. Are they going to get to it?
And Braden's going to be going last in each review. We're at the 29-minute mark. Braden, what do you think?
What an asshole.
Place your bets.
I always am thinking of the audience. That's first and foremost. I've got their ear in mind.
Yeah, I got their ear in mind too. And I'm not going to make a cheap joke with that. We're getting right into it. We really are.
Let's do it.
The order is going to be, well, what is the order going to be? I think we agreed on the first two are going to be Frontiers and Trouble Every Day, and then we're going to move on to Tension, Inside, and Martyrs to round it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. Frontiers.
Ready?
Frontiers, start your engine, start your clocks, and the alarm is set and go.
We're going all the way back to the year 2007. Frontiers, directed by Xavier Gens. A gang of young thieves flee Paris during the violent aftermath of a political election, only to hole up at an inn run by neo-Nazis.
What are your favorite topics, eh? Always these.
You know what?
neo-Nazis.
And I'm gonna get laughed at for this because it's recently been brought to my attention that I bring a certain person up in every show. It's my movie partner, my dad,
Father.
my father. Hey, father.
Father.
We watched this film together. We watched most of these films together.
Oh my God! You dragged it like. Oh, does he like?
He likes these films. He actually was most disturbed by this one because of the neo-Nazi aspect.
Oh, well, that kind of makes a little sense.
And honestly, it wasn't the most disturbing to me, but
No.
but hey,
But
I'm a self-loathing Jew. Hey,
everything's personal. Just like Brandon, we've talked about some movies before where they hit you certain ways because it's just personal. Like when we talked about what did we just do? When we talked about Before I Wake.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah,
And you
yeah.
took something personal from that. And
I did.
You know, and you talked your ass off that show, and I let you.
Hey,
I let you.
Well, no, I enjoyed it. I'm just saying he had a lot to say, and it was personal to him, and I respect that. And
I haven't listened back to that episode, but I noticed I do talk a lot.
I tried to trim it down, but like SC's voicemail, it just became a monster unto itself.
Yeah.
But
All right, so right on.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. No, I was going
It's already
to jump right into.
started.
I was going to jump right into. I was going to say right from the cover box of the film and the back art, it says that Frontiers is basically a mixture of Hostel and Saw. While I don't necessarily agree with Saw, except for like maybe the torture part, Hostel is a great frame of reference. If you're a fan of that film, you'll want to check out this film.
You know what I thought? I actually thought it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with
Oh,
a
that's
bunch
the
of
other
neo-Nazis.
thing I have written here. That's the other thing I have written here. The German Sawyer family.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
really. That's what it was. It was like I think it's one of the most shocking wrong turn movies made. And what I mean by that is like we got to meet up. Then it leads to their untimely deaths, and it's grisly, it's gory. Again, there's not one friendly neo-Nazi amongst them. There's never like I mean
There's not
I
too
said
much
this a
friendly
Green Day,
neo-Nazis out
a Green
there.
Day, Green Room.
Day. American idiot.
Yeah, there we go. Green Room.
We got a Canadian idiot tonight.
Yeah. Waka waka.
Hey, all right.
But yeah, they can never be nice. They're always fucking so severe and so depraved, and that one leader. But it's the Sawyer family, just neo-Nazi'd.
Yeah,
No,
I have that written down here, but the listeners will never believe me. I went right for the
I
cover
believe
art
you.
first.
I believe you.
The cover art, it's that girl, right?
Yeah, I'm not the cover. On the back, in the description, it had Hostel and Saw written as like comparisons. But I also wrote Texas Chainsaw because I thought the same thing.
Oh,
Okay, when you say cover art, I was literally thinking of the cover, and I recall
I was
it being
thinking
that girl.
No,
right?
yeah, it is the girl. Yeah,
You know what that reminds me of?
Yasmin.
What?
Yes, Yasmin. That's always reminded me of the end of House of a Thousand Corpses. When the girl is walking away and she comes up from under after being underground and she's walking and then Captain Spaulding picks her up. That's the vibe I've always got from that picture. So I mean, you could just take a look at that picture and that's a final girl that survived something. That's what I got looking at it, and then it ended up being that exactly.
Man, she was terrific. That girl who played Yasmin. Man, just her trembling and her shaking. Holy crap!
Oh,
Yes.
I was unsettled by her total breakdown.
It's a fairly straightforward movie. I think just they cleverly add a little bit of that political commentary at the beginning and the turmoil and whatever, just to give it a little bit, I guess, just to give it a little bit more guts. But the reality is, it's just the setup, and then really it just turns into a very straightforward, not necessarily a bad thing, but wrong
I
turn
actually
movie.
preferred it when it became more straightforward. The riot footage at the beginning I thought was a little too much.
I agree. It was a little
Distracting?
crazy.
Yeah.
It went on a little long too.
Yes, it did. And me, of course, as usual, got a little bit confused as to what was going on. It seemed like there was too many characters. I was like, why is this happening? What's going on?
Was this first time watch for you?
No, but it is second time watch.
Yeah, this was second time watch for me.
But I
Okay.
remember the
watched
first
it-
time. Same thing, Dave. It was
Same
just
thing.
too much. And I was like, what? And they, this is not what I thought it was. And what's with this political thing? Really, it's there to say this movie has something to say. But really, it doesn't. It's the setup to get them out and about. A clever way to do it, though. I thought it was a clever way to, like, these guys are not quite innocent. You don't know really, everything they've done. And I just love how they separate and they go to the hospital and they take off with the brother. Like, they
cool.
set something up really cool. But really, it was just to get them out and about and to rendezvous at this neo-Nazi hotel.
Yeah, you never really find out much about what they did, but they evidently robbed someone and the brother got shot.
And I guess that's good enough.
It is good
I
enough.
don't
It's
have
fine.
to know. But here's something. Speaking of the way they set it up, it seems like they brought an angle into it, and maybe this is something I missed out on, but they had that thing with the couple bickering, and there was like abortion talk going on, and then it seems like there was a dropped thing, and it never came up in conversation again. Did I miss something?
It came up at the hospital when the brother was dying, and he says to her, "Have this baby."
Yeah, but that was still the beginning. That was her brother. She was bickering with another guy in the movie about an abortion because.
Yeah, well, that was Alex was the father of the baby, who was the ex-boyfriend.
Now
Yeah.
Alex is hold on. I wrote it down this time. I wrote down the hair color so I know who was who.
He
and
had the
everything
shaved
else.
head. Shaved head.
Okay, he was the short hair. Okay, so that's Alex, and he was the guy that was all. Was he the one that didn't want to screw around with the girls because I have a girlfriend, or was that the other guy?
That was Fareed. That was
Okay, so that didn't-
was Raghead, as they called him.
Reagan. He had blonde hair.
Little Raghead. No, he was like Muslim.
Oh, wait, so then I'm thinking of somebody else then. So was Yasmin hanging with her ex-boyfriend the whole time, Alex? Or no?
Sort of.
Well,
Yeah,
remember,
she
they
was.
came
She
over-
was. She was with. Yeah, but she was with Alex.
Okay, see, that's what I was
Tied
saying.
up, and it was Tom and Fareed.
Yeah.
Who were
Okay, so
the other.
I was thinking you were talking about Tom. Okay,
No, Tom was the one who was, who was having sex with Gilbert or Gilberte, however you say her name, the hot blonde.
I do like her.
Yeah, I do like her too.
She was
Man,
crazy looking, eh?
Yeah, she's crazy looking. She's very aggressive. The way she's very sexual. How they started going right at it when they got there. That's
She teach me a thing or two. Hey.
right. I just, man, this is going to be a running theme. There are some very attractive women in these movies.
Oh.
Yes, there are.
I think each
Oui.
one has a hot girl in it.
Oui.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Oui, oui.
Right?
And
No,
this whole
I'd like
thing
to
could have
be
been
on it.
avoided if maybe he didn't call them filthy whores, because that's when the brother really got mad, eh?
Yeah, what a fool.
Yeah.
Yeah, gets.
Oh,
Gets, yeah, the freaking every time you know what that reminds me of? Gets. You guys know those caramels with the white cream in the middle? Gets.
no. I was thinking of
No.
Lethal Weapon 2. Whatever Leo wants, Leo gets. You're careful.
Leo Gets. That's right. What about Bernard Gets?
Nope.
No, nobody. Okay,
Nope.
it's all right.
Back
It's
to
all
the
right.
chocolate.
Your gets is as good as mine.
Oh.
Brandon's on fire, folks.
Oh, hey.
So far, so good.
But
Gets, you guys don't know those caramel things? Seriously? You never seen those caramels with the white
Rolos?
in the middle and they're rolled up? No. There's no chocolate involved. They're just soft caramels. They're round, and then in the middle is like this white cream, and they're called Getzes. No, Werther's are hard. These are soft.
I know. Aren't you getting mad by the fact that I know they're called Getzes, but I'm still referring to them as every other candy?
So you do know what Getzes are.
I feel like I've heard of them, but I can't eat them because they're German.
Doesn't support anything. We won't drive a BMW.
I thought the scariest character in the whole film was the father.
Oh, dude, yes. When the father comes into the picture, that guy was so perfectly cast in this movie. He was absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was casting.
Nazi.
Yeah, I think he was a Nazi.
Yeah. I think they found one that got away and be like, hey, you want to do this movie?
That would be my pleasure.
Now, were they a German family that spoke French? Or were they French Nazis?
I thought they were speaking... Were they speaking French or were they speaking German?
It's a French movie, I assume. I don't know. The whole thing's subtitled. Yeah. But
it was a French-German production. It went back and forth between French and German in terms of the language.
Freaking Dialect Jones over here. I don't know.
No, I'm reading this. Believe me, I can't tell. I can't tell the difference. Well, I can tell the difference between French and German. German is such a freaking ugly language when you hear it.
Oh, it's like they're clearing the throat constantly.
Yeah. German? Clearing their throat?
We're gonna help all the Jews.
No, they don't do that. That's like the guys from Saudi Arabia. Hamed. Right?
I don't want no hawking on my bread.
We're offending people already, aren't we?
Hello.
Let's offend anybody that's not from North America. Yeah.
Right. Who has not been offended? What nationality? What?
We'll get you. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll hit you. We're like South Park. Eventually, we'll just get everybody. Right?
There's so many times like when you think they're going to escape and you just know, okay, how is this going to come back like that? There's that time where you mentioned House of a Thousand Corpses at one point with all those little like creatures. They're humans, but I guess
those were the children. Those were Hans and
those were all those were all her children. Is that what they were?
Yeah, they were deformed.
I thought they were just like other people.
The retarded guy. Can I say retarded?
You just did.
Yeah.
I guess I can. Okay. Hey. You know, the big dude.
The pig guy? Yeah, Hans.
Yeah, him and the girl who was kind of friendly.
Eve. Now that's a total rip, not a rip, but that totally reminds you of Hills Have Eyes, that whole situation.
Yes, very much so.
Everything about this movie, and I'm not dissing it, but a lot of this is inspired from other horror, and that's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, it is fine.
When they do it right. When you do it right, they do it right. I mean, some of my favorite movies have been inspired from others, and yeah, if you could take the best pieces but make them your own and up the ante with the gore and everything like that, and this movie does.
Oh, the
table saw anybody? Holy shit!
Oh.
Now let me ask you something, because I don't always have the best eye when it comes to kills. But with the table saw, I mean, I loved it. But with some of that, I mean, was that CGI?
I don't think so.
Because it looked like some of the blood spray looked kind of off to me.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. I didn't get a CGI vibe from that at all.
Okay, I could be wrong. I honestly, it just for a second, I was like, oh, this looks a little like CGI splatter, but I mean, I loved, like the hooks through the legs when Alex got the tongs.
Well, just like Midnight Meat Train. Nothing is worse than seeing someone hooked up by the foot, like with one of those meat hooks, and then someone's trying to pull them off of them, only to make it worse.
Yeah.
You're cringing with every movement. I'm thinking about it right now, and it's making me like woozy. It's just, so well done. So well done.
So well done. And I don't think there's any CG. I really don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Although, Brandon, I'm the kind of guy that I've noticed that, and it's always a blood splatter, that something happens to be CG. So
yeah, I don't really feel like I have a good eye for that. Like, I can tell when things are practical, but sometimes I can't tell if it's CGI or not. But it didn't affect it for me. I was just like, it was still an awesome kill. Yes. But I think we all have to agree on the best kill in here being the you know which one I'm gonna say, the full head explosion.
Yes.
Oh, wow, exploding head.
You posted it. You posted it to the site. It was great. I forgot about that actually. I immediately until I saw it again and I went, yeah, that's us.
Yes. Reference
Not only
that.
did I forget about most of the kills in this movie, but I actually thought this movie had a kill in it, which actually wasn't in it. So it must be a different movie I was thinking of. Because I thought the pigs played a part in one of the kills, but I could just be thinking of Hannibal.
I was gonna say Hannibal or
But
maybe
how would I confuse Hannibal and Frontiers? I didn't
because
feel like I
they're-
would.
He's a German, and they're Germans. In
He's German. That's it.
Hannibal.
Hannibal.
Nine.
Hannibal Lecter.
That's all I know.
I'll tell you.
Mein Lecter.
I think that
Cartoon.
there's something stupid about these guys. I can say that in my lifetime,
Which guys? The family?
no. The protagonist, Tom and Fahid, or was that their names?
Fareed.
Fareed, okay.
I thought Fareed was actually a smart character. I thought it was funny that scene earlier in the film where Tom kind of like tells him to get out of the car, that he's keeping the money and he's bullying him, and in the end Tom is the first one to go down and cries like a baby, and then Fareed actually hangs tough and is outsmarting these guys for a
He
while.
hides into an oven.
Yeah, it's never a good place to hide. It's an oven,
Yeah.
especially a German oven.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's for damn sure. Ouch.
Was no easy bake.
That was a good scene though too with that oven, because it was Hans who put the oven on, and you notice that you could even see like he was cringing, almost like because he didn't know any better. Like he's he's a simple giant
He's
He's a
massive
grunt.
man.
He's a grunt for the family.
Yeah, and they treat him like one, and it's almost like he didn't want to be doing it either, much like his wife.
And what about the mother? What was the significance of that? And why were they force feeding her? It was kind of funny because the guy says to her, he goes, "You treat her as a dummy or something." Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I think it was basically like homage to
Texas Chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw, to like Grandpa.
It was his grandma.
Okay, you killed Grandma. Okay.
Literally,
Maybe so.
just freaking food oozing out of her pipe, her trach.
Gross. Or true.
Ugh.
How
Yeah,
creepy
ugh.
is it when they're crawling through and they're trying to escape from whatever they think is
Oh,
in
my
that dark cavern, and they're going through that tight little opening, and
I
you
couldn't
feel the
breathe.
claustrophobia. Yeah, you feel
Oh,
claustrophobic
man.
in that whole scene, only to escape and get killed. Like, I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoiler.
Whatever.
No, I think
there's a
I think
final
people
girl.
realize.
I'm sure
Yeah.
I'm sure they know that people are getting whacked here and whatever.
Yeah.
No, but what I was trying to say earlier about the guys, here's what they were stupid at. This is what they should have picked up on this. And I'm a guy, I've gone around a little bit. I've had nights where, I got lucky in the strangest of ways, and it's been great when it's happened, and I didn't question, and maybe now as an adult I wouldn't have gone to certain places with certain people, but, it's just, but when they get to this place, first of all, they get that good line from, what's her name, Gilberte, and she says, "Here, everything is possible." And right off the bat, okay, that's kind of a little tease, a little flirtation, but within half an hour, hooking up with the girl that quick, with, a very little bit of alcohol was involved. I think there was kissing before the booze even came into play. It just seemed to me that if I was there, I'm thinking, this is probably a setup.
I think it's that whole European hostel type thing.
You think people are just that loose out there?
I don't know. I've never been to Europe. It seems that's how they portray it in the movies.
Boy, like I said,
But yeah, no,
fucked up.
but Fareed seemed like aware. Like he was kind of like
he didn't want to do it. He was saying
he didn't want to do it, but he was also alert to
But he was taking pictures of it.
Yeah, he was.
What kind of? And who is his girlfriend? Do we ever meet her in this movie?
No,
Or was he
no.
just saying that?
I'm sure he has a girlfriend, but he was he was the stand-up guy.
Yeah, I
He
guess
was the nice guy.
Yeah, the nice guy snapping pictures. Look at that.
Yeah.
He's real. What a sweetheart. Let me tell you. They're going up on the internet the next day, or he's blackmailing somebody, or yeah. Who knows? Well, either way, I found that I'm just saying I've been involved in lots of situations like that with women, and that was a little too quick and a little too let's go upstairs, right off the bat. That I would be a little bit, apprehensive about. I would probably be thinking that they're going to rip me off, not kill me or feed me to somebody or anything like that. Just
Rob you.
yes, I'm going to get robbed from these girls. That's the plan, because they weren't even a business. They were just a place they happened upon. They had food, and they said, "Okay, you could stay here, and we're going to fuck you." I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, it's great, but
Is this heaven?
right, exactly. Is this heaven? Right, that's
Nope.
what I mean. Not quite.
Yeah.
What about Carl? We haven't talked about Carl.
Carl.
Shows up. Everything. That's when everything really changed. As soon as that guy came in, dressed like a cop, and you're like, okay, this is the cop, and he's like, you're messing with my sister.
The only son I'm proud of.
He was sort of like, well, I guess he was being groomed as to be the next leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was that power struggle because you thought that, I mean, in reality, there wasn't a power struggle. I could see why Carl was the one selected, but it seemed like, Getz was the heavy. He was the muscle, and he kind of thought he was in charge. He wasn't dumb muscle like.
He was talking about how I'm in charge. They'll listen to me. When he's looking for the Yasmin in the locker,
Right.
in the meat locker.
Which was a pretty good scene.
That's what I'm saying. He was the heavy there. That as soon as you see that scene, I don't care. And this is not a sexist comment because if it was me in that scene and I got punched, I would have been out for the count. She takes how many punches? He fucking lays in on her with I think 2 or 3 cracks across the face, and she still keeps coming back.
Yeah, in the movies they tend to take punches a lot easier. There's another film we'll cover later on where a person takes a beating that honestly you shouldn't have been alive after the first one, let alone 15 beatings.
That's true. What about the players to the Achilles? That was freaking awesome.
The tongs. Get me the tongs. And I was like, what the hell are the tongs?
Oh
man, cringeworthy.
Yeah. It always is, no matter what movie.
Yeah.
Fucking Kill Bill, they've done it in, Child's Play.
Yep.
Oh, not Child's Play.
Pet
Pet Cemetery. Sorry, why did Child's Play? You're funny that
Because the kid did it.
Yeah. Pet Cemetery.
Yep.
And, no matter what movie it's in, it's always.
It's because Gage is like a little Chucky doll running around.
He does look like a little Chucky.
Basically, yeah, right. But again, when she escapes initially, and she hitches a ride, that whole scenario, that's something we all knew what was coming there. I mean, before we saw when you see who it is, yes. But I mean, when that happened, we all know what was going to happen when she's hitching a ride there. I mean,
that's become a trope. That's like right out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and whatnot. It just seems like they could have done something different there. But I guess what at that point? But at that,
I don't care. Right? Yeah. It doesn't anger me at all. I'm just, it's just that you see it and you still know it's going to come. Yet the movie amps up the gore well and it has enough of its own thing with the. It's just, I don't want to say fun, but it is. It is a fun movie to me. It's a horror film.
No, it is. This one's probably one of the more fun ones.
So weird to say.
It is because I mean they're all extreme. They're good films. It's just some of them aren't easy to watch. This one's not. This one's pretty much a straightforward horror movie.
Yeah.
Even though with just extreme gore.
Yeah, but
I mean,
it's French extreme. That's what they do. That's going to be a running theme here. These are gory movies, bloody and gory.
But they never sacrifice story just for the sake of extreme violence, which is why I tend to like the French extreme films rather than certain other countries' extreme.
That's true. I can see that. There is story here. Yeah. It's not just gore for gore's sake with no plot.
It basically turns into an action horror film.
Well, especially when they bring out the guns and just start hunting them down Rambo style. But there was also some suspenseful scenes. Excuse me. I was like, I turned into Porky Pig there, but it was you're on edge.
Do you feel like they should have done more with the children? Like maybe have the children be involved in a kill somehow?
Surprised they didn't actually.
I'm surprised they didn't either because the whole setup is that the children are living down there. They're cannibal children.
They chose to go with pigs instead.
Oh, you think they eat the pigs?
No, they focused on the pigs instead of the children. Is all I'm saying.
I'm just saying it would have been cool if if they fed one of the protagonists to the children.
Oh yeah, of course it would have. Yeah, maybe they kind of dropped the ball a little.
You went all found footage down in the tunnels.
Yes,
they
set
it up, and then that whole scene where she's in the meat locker, so to speak. Like you figure there should be more coming out of that, but it never comes.
Yeah.
Did you see how many bodies they had in there too? That's ridiculous. They had freaking a couple dozen bodies in there.
Now, did they establish that they were cannibals? Or
I think it's just implied. I don't think they
Yeah.
ever
Oh,
actually...
they're cannibals because that's what they're eating for dinner.
Oh, they do say something at one point. You're right. I don't remember what, but I know something was said when they were eating. And
Yeah, when Furry's like, I can't eat pork or something. And I don't know. He makes reference that it's not pork.
Not
It's
pork.
cooked in pork fat.
Yeah.
Pork fat. Pork paws fat.
What? Are you okay?
Yeah,
I said pork fat, but I said pork fat.
Oh, okay.
So I said pork paws fat.
I thought you were pulling a Porky Pig over there. Holy
you
God.
Nazi cannibals. Well, it ends very Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. To be honest, I mean, she gets away, and like totally hysterical and.
And I feel like the end kind of ties in the whole beginning footage. I feel like that's the only time where it ties it in.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming they're not there waiting for them. They're there because there's
They're there.
issues happening.
Yeah,
And
because
they're doing like a
unrest in the
roadblock.
country.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But she's never been happier to see them.
I'll tell you, I really love that shot. The way it looks when she's out there and it starts raining and the rain's coming down and she's there and she's looking up. It's just a great shot. Just that whole sequence. And it happens again in another movie where there's something about the rain. I don't know what it is when the rain comes down in France, but
Well, no,
The rain in France stays mainly in the pants.
I was gonna say
the cinematography, so I don't get fucking destroyed over here again, is amazing in this movie. It actually looks great. The editing is good, but they resort to that fucking music video editing a few times. A lot of flashes and and it's distracting. It kind of takes it out of the movie a little bit. I'm not. Did I take marks away? Maybe a half a point tops. But
I agree with that with the editing.
It didn't need it. It didn't need the flashy editing, and that was the only thing from a production sort of standpoint that bothered me because the movie looked great.
Yeah,
and it definitely wasn't like boring. The pace was fine, other than the beginning. The first 5 minutes actually don't do the movie justice at all. They're almost a bit of a chore to get through, but then once you get through them, it takes off, and it's quite, like I said, straightforward in the way it goes about its storytelling. But there's nothing wrong with that because once again, it actually delivers a lot of shocks and surprises.
Yes, it's good stuff. It definitely is. Like I said, it's nothing new. It's nothing we haven't seen before, but it doesn't matter because it's done just right.
Yeah.
And you know that's worth something. I can't complain about the movie at all. Like you said, the beginning, the first 5 minutes, especially for a guy like me, I don't like action movies and I don't like all that. I usually can't keep up, or I just zone out of it. I lose interest. And it was a little bit weird. As far as the editing that you guys are talking about, I didn't notice it. I don't remember. I don't have any notes on it. When I think about the movie, I don't recall that. But I think I'm actually a fan of that quick cut editing anyway. So maybe that's why
I think that just made it feel more actiony. I guess that was sort of like the tone. Now I get confused. What is the actual difference between tone and mood? Tone is how the director wants us to feel, and mood is how we actually feel.
Oh,
does anyone know?
Good question. Yeah. No, I mean, well, mood. I would interject. I would probably confuse the two as being the same.
Whereas tone, the look of the film, like the lighting and.
Well,
I think tone is a feel, mood is a feel. I think to me, mood is deeper. It's more serious to me. There's more to it when it comes to mood. But what do I know?
I just feel like the tone of the film, how it was, I guess, set up from like a director's standpoint, is this is supposed to be a more, I don't know, gritty, sort of actiony, straightforward horror film. Because this subject matter could have been played, much, much darker.
Yeah.
I mean, given the fact what you got cannibals, you got Nazis. You got a lot of stuff here that if
talking about it, you can almost laugh, but it's not funny. I mean, when you say it like that, you're almost like, well, how's this movie not ridiculous? But it's you don't find it's not played for comedic value at all.
No, there's no comedy, but I don't know, it's not as extreme. Like I feel like if one of the directors we're going to cover coming up soon had done this story, she would have approached it and made it an extremely disturbing film.
Yeah, I feel you. I could see it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I mean, I get confused between tone and mood, but basically, I just felt like it was a little bit lighter, even though there is no comedy whatsoever.
No, and that's a big plus.
And the performance, and I mean, like I said, Yasmin's performance really stands out. I mean, everyone does a good job in it, but man, she, especially towards the end of the film, her just progression, she's just lost it. And did you notice that? I noticed one of the common themes in two of the movies, and
Oh my god.
Yep.
That alarm scared the shit out of me.
It's supposed to. Good.
what? I was just gonna say that they love to give really bad haircuts in France.
Oh, wait a minute. Bad. I thought she looked hotter with the short hair.
Yeah, funny.
No,
enough.
but it's just they just grab you by the head. I don't mean bad like she looked bad. I mean she's a pretty girl.
You gotta stop. You gotta
Yes, we
stop.
do.
Let's rate and move
You're right.
on.
Yep. Rate. I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I say 8 out of 10. It's an 8.
I'm exactly there with you. Fun movie, 8 out of 10.
I come in a notch higher than you guys. I'm 8.5 out of 10.
All right. I expect you to be a little higher on all these.
Really enjoyed this film. Again, seen it again. It was just as good as the first time.
Nice.
Yeah. It was so far in between that one and this one for me anyway. It's been like 7 years at least, I think, since. When did this first come out? 7?
2007. Yeah.
7? Yeah. So I saw it when it first dropped. Maybe 8 because it's from France, so you're not so sure exactly when we get it here. But I haven't seen it since. So all I remember is that. Yeah, whatever. We got to get out of it. 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8.5. I expect Christian to come in higher on every one of these tonight.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Nah, maybe not every one. Maybe not, no. Which, actually, okay, let me set the alarm for the next one, because this one, I have a feeling Christian will not come in the highest on this. So,
I have a feeling he won't either.
all right. The next movie is Trouble Every Day.
Yes, Trouble Every Day from 2001, directed by Claire Denis. Shane and June Brown are an American couple honeymooning in Paris in an effort to nurture their new life together. A life complicated by Shane's mysterious and frequent visits to a medical... Hold on one second. I accidentally hit the page up. To a medical clinic where cutting-edge studies of the human libido are undertaken. That's, this is IMDb's description.
Yes or no. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say his visits are frequent, and
Yeah.
you do pick up on the fact that while they are there for their honeymoon, that clearly Shane, played by Vincent Gallo, has another ulterior motive for being in Paris at this time.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's no mystery. It comes right out. Right?
Yeah. I mean, you never, this movie is driven more by its feel and by, its visuals, its aesthetics, rather than by its plot, because they just don't give you. I feel like they don't give you enough. To me, this is almost like I didn't. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I hated this film at all, but this to me is almost like how Christian felt about Possession, in that maybe it's a little too vague. Like it's like we all think different things, and this one kind of needed maybe a little bit more substance, a little bit more plot.
It's funny that you say that, because
Yep.
I compared it, but my review, funny enough, I enjoyed it more for whatever reason, even though it was like, here's a couple of my first two notes. Vincent Gallo is fucking intense. He's just intense looking. He's intense in his performance. Something about him. He's intense. The movie is fucking slow. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. It's slow. You have to go in knowing that, and your enjoyment of the movie hopefully will go up, just knowing that you just got to let it play out. Because I went in not knowing anything other than that I think Jeremy is a big fan of this movie, and I know that through you, Brandon. And,
Yeah, I bought it for him.
Yeah, and then we decided to add it as the fifth movie instead of them. So I went in not even knowing what this movie was, and I was willing. I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna sit back and let the movie take me in. But immediately I was like, fuck, this is slow.
Yeah, it is very slow, and we threw it in, obviously also because it's one of the earlier of the new French extreme films from 2001.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did know going into this is I've seen interviews with this director, with Claire Denis. She's a well-known French director, and I've seen her talk about film and analyze film, and she's very methodical and slow, even in her approach to talking about film. So I knew her films were more art house rather than going to be straight up, extreme gore.
And that's,
I mean, not that there isn't extreme gore in this. It's just that it's a different type of extreme in this.
Yeah, it's
there is some. Yeah. There's just not enough for me.
Yeah. I mean, but I really did feel going into this like I knew like it wasn't gonna be Frontiers.
Yeah, I didn't know a damn thing. Because it was my first time.
I knew nothing about the movie either, though. This was the first time for me too. But I just kind of knew when I go in. I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that it was only an hour and a half.
It feels longer. It feels longer, and I'm sounding like I hated the movie, which I actually didn't, but it feels longer.
Yeah.
It's the shortest running time, but it felt the longest. Is that what you're saying?
Actually,
they were all roughly about an hour and a half. I think all these movies clocked in. Maybe Martyrs was about maybe an hour and 40.
Yeah, High Tension was under an hour and a half, I think.
Oh, wait a minute. Trouble Every Day, I think, was an hour 40, to my knowledge. Yeah.
I like the parallels between the two couples. You really don't get an idea what's going on, but with the opening scene with what's the actress's name?
Who? My girl, Beatrice.
Yeah, Beatrice from who's in Inside.
Yeah,
you could have her because she's fucking nuts.
She's awesome. Yeah. She is nuts. Now, when I saw her. Now, in this movie, I had nothing, like I said, I knew nothing about it. But at first, you see this girl.
Yeah.
And you don't know who it is at first. I didn't know who it was at first. I see the boots, and I go, oh, this is kind of sexy. I like those boots. This looks good. I like girls that wear boots like that.
Ooh, I like boots.
Those boots are made for walking.
Ooh, sexy boots. Yeah, they're made for something.
Them be kinky boots.
They are, man. I dig it. Then I get up, and I'm like, oh. It's Beatrice. I was like, all right, I'm on board. And then, of course, she's crazy because she always is, and she's crazy in real life.
Yeah, because she's a cokehead.
Whatever
I would like her to fucking eat me, that's for sure.
See, so you're with me. All right. All right, girl. I saw those lips, and I was like, boing.
I was really into the girl who played the
wife?
The hotel maid.
They're all pretty girls.
Oh, the wife was hot too, and the
wife.
This is you talked about it, Dave. The last movie, 3 hot chicks in this one, and it depends on but Beatrice is hot. Like I just worry that my skin would get stuck in between her teeth.
That's Michael Strahan's distant cousin.
Oh,
it doesn't bother me at all. and with girls like that, it almost seems fitting. I don't know. She's just something about not as much in this movie. She's just whacked out and doing cannibal stuff, and she doesn't speak much. She doesn't do it for me in this movie the way she does in Inside for whatever reason. But I still enjoy seeing her nonetheless. But that's Beatrice. It's just this movie you would think would flow faster, considering you're bouncing between the two couples. You're going between Beatrice
and at the start of the film, clearly she's eating a truck driver.
Yeah,
like she's literally sitting in the window.
It opens very very intriguingly, and the husband being the doctor covering for his wife. It's very intriguing. Yeah. Then you meet Vincent Gallo and his wife. Yeah, and there's that little dream flashback sequence, or permanent, or you're like,
I don't know what it is.
What is that?
It's his lust. For blood taking over, and he's envisioning his wife.
That's right.
He's envisioning June covered in blood.
Okay. Yeah, he had the lust. He's suppressing it because he's taking the pills.
He didn't suppress it enough because she had a big bite mark on her arm.
Then
on her shoulder.
Right.
Then nothing. And I'm going to be honest here. There's a lot of nothing. Because the only thing I cared about was the Beatrice character and what was happening with her and the two guys. It was like everything's moving like clockwork here. The husband leaves and they notice that she's locked up and they are trying to get in to see her. Very intriguing. But we keep cutting back to Vincent Gallo and his wife, and there's nothing progressing. Again, we can argue this, but he's trying to call the clinic. And that's all he seems like he does for an hour.
I know. And they're showing the clinic. They're showing the stuff on the other end. They're showing him calling. They're showing them on that side.
They're showing beakers. They're showing plants.
They're showing brain slicing.
What is this, a show on botany?
The brain slicing was pretty sweet, though.
That was nasty when they were pulling out all the... I don't know what it is. All that.
Yeah, the entrails.
Yeah.
That was kind of sick. But something about the way the brain looks in situations, you don't see it much. I find it, I'm kind of attracted to it. It's cool looking to me. The color of it and the shape of it. Yeah, I want to freaking, I want to bang a brain.
I want to put my wiener in it. I want to brain fuck you.
Total mind fuck, right?
Mind fuck. Man, why didn't I think of that?
Nice. I kept getting confused between the maid and the employee at the clinic. I guess I was.
I got confused with that too for a sec. Malicot and Christella.
That's more than I knew. All I know is I was getting confused. I didn't know if he was banging the one, what was happening, why is he on his honeymoon, why is he going after? He acted like he was very in love with this girl, very much in love. Then as soon as they got into the hotel, his demeanor changed, and I couldn't figure out why. And
well, it was weird. It was like the minute they got in there, and he makes like the maid carry all the luggage.
Yeah, that was funny.
He's carrying a little bag, and she's carrying like 2 pieces of luggage, and I'm like, okay, but like they present her as like somebody who's really just I don't know lost. But then they show the scene where she gets on the bike with her boyfriend when she leaves, so almost like she's happy outside there, but she's still drawn to Vincent Gallo's character, to Shane.
I don't know. It's the hotel. As soon as he gets in the hotel, what is this? The Shining?
Well, they don't go anywhere. That's
Room
the funny
321. They should have called this.
They're on their honeymoon. They don't go fucking anywhere. She starts going out by herself because.
Right.
He's scared.
Yeah.
Because he even says to her, "I would never hurt you."
Yeah.
But he's afraid.
She's in the tub. Is that when she's in the tub and you see the bite mark on her?
Yeah, you see the bite mark on her a couple times. He's looking at her all naked.
Yeah.
All naked.
All naked.
All naked and such.
I don't know. Too much was just overlooked. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. There you go. You know where they stayed at? They stayed at the Overlooked Hotel.
Yeah.
Because I just don't know. It seems like as soon as they get into that damn hotel, things change, and I don't exactly know why. Then he's laying down, and it looks like he's freaking humping his hand. Not even masturbating. Humping his hand, and then taking the pills. And then we just kind of eventually figure it out by these conversations that he has, which it seemed like it took too much to get to the point.
Mm-hmm.
That was right.
It felt like a nice idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Drawn out. That was maybe a short film that they drew out to feature length. And unfortunately, there's enough here to make it a feature length movie, but they didn't go with anything. Like it just, like almost like it was intentionally done. I don't know how else to word it. Like I was just. Like,
It definitely was. I definitely feel like this filmmaker intentionally is so obscure in her approach, so minimalist in her approach.
It's frustrating though. It is.
It was frustrating for this because this is one, like, as much as I do enjoy art house films and I like to think every once in a while, you still need more substance to make it a little bit more meaningful.
Yes, and see here's the thing. Historically, growing up, I was not into art house films. I've developed an affinity for them over the last 5 years. Most of that is for the look, though, not so much the plot. But you know what I mean. But in this movie, it's artsy, but it's artsy in a way. And I've said this before, and I think I said this when we were doing Possession. Art is subjective. One guy's going to look at it and see something amazing. One guy's going to look at it and see a mess. And that's just what it is. But this movie, it didn't have the technical prowess that other movies have, like The Witch and like The Shining and movies.
Clickety-clackety to that.
Clickety-clackety. You know what I mean? In a movie like Darling, which to me, I like to look at them in their art house, but I appreciate all the technical aspects of it. There was nothing special about the cinematography here. I mean, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it wasn't art house enough. It was art house in a way.
Student film.
It's weird. That's what it is. It's weird. Like, at least Possession was weird, but it had these technical aspects that I like to see, that I can marvel at. Where this didn't have enough of that to suck me in. So yeah, can I tolerate an art house film with a little bit of a confusing plot if I like to look at it? If it's style over substance, yes. But this didn't have enough of either. And
because they had the two storylines. That's the problem. They had,
they never met up.
June and Shane, and Shane's, even the scene on the plane, it's very uncomfortable. You don't know what's going on, and he keeps saying, I'm happy.
Right.
And then you have the scene with Corey and Dr. Leo, and she's basically saying to him, I don't want to live anymore. I want to die. I don't want to wait anymore, meaning she doesn't want to wait anymore for his research and to find a cure for whatever it is that they have. and she's like, I want to die, and both of those scenes are intense. It's like they could have just done the movie almost where it could have just been Leo and Corey's story.
Right, and it should have been more straightforward.
Little Corey.
But even at the end, without giving too much away, at the end, I feel like his arc is kind of incomplete because we're not like I know things have happened and he's done things, but I still don't understand. I don't think that's going to bring him happiness.
What kind of feel did you get from the end? Because I got a sense of dread.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's what it was. Like I read something that they said this was going to finally make him able to enjoy and appreciate his wife. I did not get that. I did not get that from this movie. I thought, if anything, it was going to make him now more susceptible to acting on his impulses more.
Yeah, basically, that's how I took it. I took it like, okay, like all of a sudden at the end, okay, now he realizes the only way to be safely with his wife is to lead a life like Corey was leading.
I didn't get that.
That's what I got from it.
I didn't get dread.
Really?
I got relief. I got relief that it was over.
The movie itself.
You were just glad the movie was over.
Yes. I was like, okay, wrap it up. I waited far too long for an amazing sequence, which, well, even though it was amazing, it didn't make sense because I don't care. If somebody bites you in the neck while you're going at it and you're a man, and again, not just like what Christian said before, it has nothing to do with sex, but if you're a man and there's a woman on top of you and she bites you in the neck, you're not going to continue to lay there and let her go to town on the rest of you. You're going to push her off of your body and you're going to run away or do whatever you got to do. I don't care how hot she is. And it wasn't that. It was a great scene, but it didn't make sense that the guy would just lay there and let it happen from one
And then
bite.
she bit his tongue out.
Yeah, and then it's followed up. It's followed up by, like when Vincent Gallo's character gets there, like instantaneous, like inferno, like that was fucked.
Yes.
No,
yes.
like I mean, it just literally, and all of a sudden things just went on fire, and it was like bad CGI.
It was bad CGI for that. Well, what it was is she was playing with the match, and she was basically, I think, committing suicide, and I think she was mainly thinking, she'd take him with her. And I feel like that's why she was maybe pulling at him, but he overpowered her and got away.
And just walked out the back door, and then the husband came back and was like,
Yeah, just stares around.
Fire there?
Yeah,
was my wife still in there? Like, it was just the weirdest look, and then cut away.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and for such a sympathetic character who's doing so much, for what you get the impression it's been a while now.
Yeah.
For a long period of time trying to help his wife out, to just walk in the house and just kind of nonchalantly be like, maybe it's a sense of relief because it's over.
Yeah, it was art house, whatever you want to call it. That whole scene with the maid when he gets her at the locker and they go at it and nobody speaks a word. That's just, there you go, that's arty stuff, but it's just not my kind of arty stuff. I need more than stupid shit to happen without explanation.
That scene made me uncomfortable, though.
Made me uncomfortable. And then no one comes in, though, either.
Well, nobody. Yeah, I mean, there was a rush of another maid coming in. Big deal. Some chick making $8 an hour walks in and runs away. What's the suspense there?
She was clearly attracted though to this character, because otherwise she would have screamed when she saw him walk in. And then it turns into all sexiness. I mean, she looked good. And then
she did.
And then it gets.
She tasted good too.
Oh man, that just gets very uncomfortable. Her screaming is just.
Oh, it's horrible. And he comes up all.
Her screaming. What about the guy? The noises he was making with freaking.
He was like gasping for air. Yeah,
I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if it was ecstasy or he was freaking dying or.
And that's funny. I think that's probably intentional from this director. Is it ecstasy or is it agony, or what's the difference?
And I'm cool.
Hey, look at that, deep.
Yeah, it is deep. I can dig it. Dude, there is a movie here. They just should have done. They could have tightened it up and made it a little more straightforward as to what was going on, and because it's a good idea. I love the whole idea of having to suppress it and the cannibalistic urges and all that. That is a good story. It's original. I dig it. Just the execution, and it wasn't like the director took all kinds of time to set up magnificent shots, so that you can't even give me that as an excuse. It was just one of those movies that's weird for weird's sake, and to me, some people find art in it. I happen to not. I'm not going to trash it. I'm not saying it's a piece of shit. It's just, like I said before, it's art. And
I
it's
think
just
there's
not
something.
I
I
resonate.
think there's something there, but I think the film ultimately is more of something that the director has to tell you what it is. Honestly, for me, because we could analyze it, for days on end and come up with our own thing, but she clearly has something definitive in here that she's trying to say. Whether it's about women's inferiority to men or men's power over women, the whole libido thing.
Well, I give it a pass for that. I do.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
look,
not
this was
shitting on the movie.
Yeah, this was a first time watch for all of us. I'm not saying it would definitely get better with multiple watches, but it is the type of film that usually at least makes it more understanding with multiple watches.
Unfortunately, I say this a lot. I probably will not watch this movie again.
I gotta be honest, I'm not sure if I will either. I don't own it. It was on Amazon Prime. Maybe one day if it's still on Prime, I'll check it out again. But I felt the same way as you, Christian. It dragged a little bit.
I'm with you. None of us are going to watch it again.
And I felt like the wife almost felt like a throwaway character. I don't know.
You're right, and you're absolutely right. She was gorgeous, but it was like they didn't know what to do with her. She was there because they needed her as part of his arc. Like otherwise,
she was there in her '60s dress. She looked like from Rosemary's Baby.
She was cute, though. I mean,
she was. It was.
She had to be there, obviously, and you did feel pity for her. I mean, remember when she went? She visited her friend, and she was talking about. And then they showed the picture, and he goes, Does he still look this way, or is he still this way?"
Or is this the same Shane? And she's like, "I wouldn't know."
She's like, I wouldn't know. So there is something there. I would have actually preferred they spend a little more time on that than all the lab shit.
They didn't spend enough time on things that they needed to spend more time on.
I guess you get from the relationship, and maybe this is straightforward, maybe not. Obviously we all have commented how hot she is, yet he can't fuck her. He can't, or he just doesn't
won't
find her attractive. He can't, or he tries, or it gets to the point, and he has to go jack off into the washroom, and because he has to visualize blood or whatever it may be, and he can't bring himself to experience pleasure with her. That's why at the end, after the whole scene with the maid, you're left to think, well, he'll never be happy with his wife unless he kills his wife or gets in this. That's how I took it.
Sure.
That's why I got that sense of dread. I didn't feel like it was going to be a happy ending. And now he's able to love his wife and be able to sleep with his wife because he's able to feed off of this lust of blood through other people or whatever. I don't think it's that simple. So funny enough, I not loving this movie, but I definitely was. You guys even maybe talked me down a little bit from my initial rating, but it was definitely a higher rating Possession. And I will tell you this: I said I wasn't going to do it. I do want to watch Possession again, not anytime soon, but I will check it out again because I think I owe the movie another watch. This, though, I can safely say I don't have any interest. Not a horrible movie. It was frustrating, and maybe that's good, but I don't have any interest to watch it again.
Yeah, and also the whole idea of him, always sneaking off into the bathroom to climax was, not wanting to hurt his wife because even.
Yeah, but it did. Remember,
Leo, I know. Yeah, and that's another thing: physical versus emotional pain.
Exactly.
Because Dr. Leo, at the beginning, when he was making out with Corey, right when it started to get hot and heavy, he pushed her off because he's scared of her.
Makes sense.
If her lust gets too up,
Right.
If her lust gets too up, hey.
if her lust gets up, he gets tore up.
Like you said, Dave, there's a good movie in here, or a more promising movie in here, and what they gave you is there's some intriguing moments, but it's so dull in certain parts, and it drags. It's so frustratingly dull because you know that it could have been better or something more.
Yeah, and I couldn't do the 1.5 because I was watching it on my computer.
You in the 1.5.
I was disappointed. My daughter had just gone to bed, and I haven't gotten a real lot of good sleep this week. So usually I'll wait a half hour after she's asleep, and I'll put the movie in.
You always need to get a real lot of good sleep too.
Yeah, see, I still can't talk because of it. Right. Yes, exactly.
I'm sorry, me.
It's true though.
Out the other night.
Right. Well, I'm stroking out. I've been stroking out for days. So I haven't been sleeping all this week, and I was getting sick the very first night, 2 weeks ago tonight when we recorded our first show was the beginning of me getting sick. That's kind of, besides Brandon talking his ass off, I was also not feeling so good, so I was kind of quiet in the before I wake thing, and I was already starting to feel shitty. So I've been, for the better part of 2 weeks, I've been feeling pretty bad. But anyway, I wanted to get to this movie right away, and then I wanted to go to bed. So I put the disc in my computer, and I watched it with headphones, and then I'm watching it, and I'm like, I can't press my 1.5 button. What am I doing here? I picked the wrong movie to watch on the freaking computer, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Boy.
Right, yeah. So, hey, this might even be the shortest review.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else to say.
I don't think so. I think,
I still think people should check it out for themselves, but it's definitely it's definitely an art house film. So,
Brandon, why did we pick this movie over them? What was your reasoning? Or they, whatever the hell it's called?
Them. It's called Them.
Okay.
I don't know how we came to it.
Well, you said it. That's it. You're grounded, Brandon. You're grounded from selecting.
No, I don't think this was my.
I never heard of the movie until you brought it up. It can't be.
Hey, I even said the wrong movie when we were talking about it. I don't know if it made it to air, but
somebody said something about
I
them
said
and not liking them.
I've never seen them.
Well, then how did we get to this? Because I would have done the Fab Five. Somebody said something about
I
should
even
we
said
dip them?
I said,
No.
I haven't gotten to see them yet. And you're like, well, why would you watch that? We're doing Trouble Every Day. And so then I'm like, oh, okay.
You said something about children that them should be saved for a Killer Kids episode.
It's a Killer Kids movie. All right, yeah. If the listeners out there know how this happened, if it's really my fault, which it probably is, I apologize. It's not that bad of a movie.
No, I'm just busting your balls.
But
You're not grounded.
He's grounded. Oh, Dave, what did you give it?
I got 5 out of 10.
Wow.
You guys did talk me down. I did have it. Fuck. I had it as 7 out of 10. I'm gonna go 6 out of 10.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I had it anywhere from a 7 to a 7.5, but I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I had it as 7 out of 10, but
7.
yeah, it was funny. It just, the more we talked about it, the more I'm like, yeah, man.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. I knew it. It wasn't just me. Okay. All right.
But
Wow.
yeah,
alarm.
I still think people should check it out for themselves. Just be wary that if you do not like leisurely paced or slow paced films, this will probably not win you over or change your mind or opinion on them. There are a couple of jaw dropping sequences, but you can definitely, just to skip to them would make no sense. You got to go through the whole voyage. If you
Whole rigmarole.
Yeah, there you go.
You don't have a French word for that? No.
The whole McGillicuddy.
McGillicuddy. Okay. I wasn't talking to you. I was hoping Christian had a French word. And he
I
comes up
did.
with
McGillicuddy.
I don't have a
Pepe McGillicuddy.
Pepe McGillicuddy. Okay. that sums up this movie. I'll tell you that. Pepe McGillicuddy.
I'm surprised you came in so low, Dave. I really am.
The longer I was okay, I was higher, and then I was. But by the time the third act came, it was just going on so slow, and it just kept. I was like, and I kept waiting for more to happen. I'm looking for French Extreme. I want to see more than just that one damn freaking scene. I want to see more blood, more stuff. It just wasn't enough for me. Especially keep in mind this was the last movie I watched after watching the other 4, because and it makes sense. I want it fresh in my mind because it's my first time watch. So I waited till last night to watch it. And after a week of all those French hits, and then coming into that and being, this is not like the others. One of these things is not like the others.
That's exactly what I was going to type on the message when I said, guys, I go, what the hell? Because I had just finished it. And I'm like, what did I watch? It's funny that we packaged it in to this show. Because I guess we should have stuck with the Fab Five. But hey, it's getting us talking. And people should check it out for themselves and then weigh in on the message boards and let us know what they thought.
Well said.
I think most people haven't seen this one, so if anything, it'll get people to see it. And it being an earlier French Extreme.
Yeah. It wasn't as extreme at this point. It was sort of
no, but still, when it does get extreme, it gets extreme.
True.
Yeah, two scenes are
Right.
no question.
2 scenes are extreme.
But I'll tell you what, I think that the listeners have something, they have a leg up now watching this movie, if they've listened to this and haven't seen it, that they know what's going on. Where me, I had to go to IMDb halfway through the film to figure out what the hell was going on with the pills and the lab shit. I didn't get it.
So you're still serving the queen?
Yes, of course. Yes, I'm being it up. Bzzz. I'm a French bee. Oh, bzzz, bzzz, yes. Okay.
It was a good French bee, actually.
That's the best I got, all right? So that was it. That was Trouble Every Day, which brings us to, what is our next movie?
High Tension.
There you go. High Tension, or Hot Tension, but yes.
Hot.
That's
Hot.
That's where we're at. And I got to set the alarm before we get to it. This one's about to go off.
All right. 2003. High Tension, directed by Alexander Aja. Best friends Marie and Alex decide to spend a quiet weekend at Alex's parents' secluded farmhouse. But on the night of their arrival, the girls' idyllic getaway turns into an endless night of horror. Did I say his name right? Alexander Aja?
I think
Or
it's
is it
Aja.
Aja?
That's what I hear people
Tomato,
say.
tomato.
Well,
Yeah.
fuck me then. We got to start all over. All right, guys, we're going to start with Frontiers again.
They're all over.
all over.
All right.
Dave, bring us in from the top.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so just so the listeners know,
Zut de lore.
this review is going to be heavily spoiled. So
Yeah, I'll say.
make sure you've seen the movie before you listen to us talk about this film.
Je
It's not-
suis désolé.
Huh? Cirque du Soleil?
It's so
Is that what you said?
More
Je
like
suis
Cirque du
désolé.
Soleil.
You know what the funny part of that is? I just realized if I was supposed to be doing the challenge, so this we won't do it. That is, I am sorry in French.
What is I'm sorry in French?
Je suis désolé. Yet I'm not supposed to be saying I'm sorry.
Oh, wow, that's brilliant.
But the funny thing is, that will be a challenge that I will do for the next episode. This was just too crazy.
Yes.
So if I have to apologize, fuck, I'm apologizing.
So
Yes,
just
you have to
chill
apologize
to
for
the next episode.
exactly moods.
Let's get to this motherfucker, because I know that there's... Hey, Dave, I know you had some strong feelings about this. We talked about this before. I've watched this. Is like my 5th or 6th time seeing the movie. Still fucking love it. I'm not going to lie to you. I love this movie. And I know that there's people out there that just can't get over that ending.
This was a 3rd or 4th watch for me. This was actually the only film that I've seen more than twice. And I always enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to this discussion because I think highly of this film. I want to think higher.
Yeah, I always want to think higher. Absolutely.
Hey.
But, listen, this is the second view for me. I saw the first one. I bought this movie blind. Bought it blind before anybody could have it. So it was weird. I remember hearing rumblings of this movie, back in the day, whatever year it was, and
2003.
2003, and everybody was saying, I was seeing all over the place, Hot Tension, this, that, the other thing, on message boards, online, Fangoria, the early days, like we touched
Did you see it in the
upon.
movies?
No, that's what I'm saying. This is the
show.
weird thing. I didn't see it at the show. I didn't see it at the movies. The only way to see this movie for going about a year was to get it online. And I bought this thing on eBay for like 10 or 20 bucks because it was just a blind buy. It was regarded, and no one ever called it High Tension. It was Hot Tension. That's the only thing I ever heard it called. So I bought the movie, watched it. About a year later, High Tension comes to the U.S. theatrically. I was like, what? I was really surprised by it because I'm like, this movie's old.
Honey, get your shoes on. We're going to the show.
Let's all go to the show. I never saw it at the show. I didn't need to. I had the movie, and then it came, and I'm thinking, how is a French movie gonna come to the U.S. show? I just didn't, because you don't see that. When do you see that? I mean, in wide release anyway.
I think
Chocolat?
I think I saw that.
Shaka Zulu?
You mean chocolate?
Chocolat,
Oh, Chocolat.
Oh, chocolate.
the artist,
Formerly known as
Vanilla
fucking
ice?
Americans.
Ice Cappuccino?
Yeah. The
Ice
artist
Frappuccino?
formerly known as Ice Crappuccino. Bam!
And that's High Tension for you. Grades?
Yeah, you're killing we're eating my time here.
All right, so
Oh, yeah.
all right, so let's talk right about the opening scene. The opening scene is really the justification for the ending.
Yeah.
The conversation
absolutely.
or what we
Just
see?
the whole very opening scene of
To a degree, yes.
legs dangling off
Yes.
what appears to be, a hospital bed. You see someone sitting there in a gown, and she's just chanting over and over, "I won't let anyone come between us anymore. I won't let
Yes.
anyone come between us anymore."
Listen,
And
I'm
then-
going to save my beef, or not my beef. I'm going to save the spoiler talk and the theory for the last 10 minutes. I'm looking at the alarm, and when I see
Okay.
10 left, that's when I'm going to stop what we're doing and say, let's talk about that twist
Okay.
and if it makes sense and everything else. Then
And
I
she
figure
says
that's
that, and then says, "Are we recording?" And then it gets right into the movie.
So you're saying this is her version? I
Yeah,
get
absolutely. That is what it is.
I get
Are we
that.
recording? Boom! I'm telling you my story.
I do get that. It still doesn't hold water, but yes, I get that. That's fine.
And I can understand why people have a problem with it, because there are scenes that will just infuriate people. Go, wow, why, how, whatever.
Well, the trucker in the head. I'll just sum it up right there.
Yeah, you get. But here's my thought theory
That's
in
the
that.
problem.
The trucker in the head. Admittedly, I can see why that would piss people off.
Yeah.
Again,
It's a red herring.
It's theoretical. It's not exactly what's happening.
It's
But
a
notice-
red heading.
It's a red heading. Remember, okay, so she wakes up from her dream. The dream kind of is like a premonition that she has split personality or two
Yeah.
sides to her personality.
But she's
so to
chasing
speak.
herself.
The dream is
Yeah.
that she was chasing herself.
Yeah.
And that all
So-
makes sense.
And so it's a premonition. So then what happens is it follows them for a bit. We get to know them. They're friends. Then we cut to that scene. Now, remember, we're physically cutting to the scene, and you're seeing this scene separate from everything else. But that's just film,
Yeah.
and you might call it a cheat, but it's still what's happening in her mind. It is the start. I think it's what sort of is a catalyst to start. So yes, it's this heinous act that's almost kind of laugh-inducing at the same token. But ultimately, when we cut back to her, she's now driving the car, and I think the movie's taken a turn. And that was just kind of like a cinematic way to say it's shifted. We've shifted. Her personality shifted a bit. But we're seeing it as sort of like as a blunt version of a killer separate from the storyline, and I can see why that pissed people off.
I definitely agree with what you said, and I get why people, same thing with you, would not like it. I always felt like you said, they were talking about how Alex left Marie to go to a party or to go somewhere with a boy, and she was mad about that, Marie. And it's right after they talk about that they transition to the head scene,
Yeah.
the head in the truck. So it's almost like her anger manifesting itself, and
That's it.
and
It's
a
right
lot
here.
of people say, and I kind of went back and paused and looked and kind of take that the head resembles Alex. It's not Alex's head, but it's a dark-haired girl. You could easily just
Oh,
chalk
I
it up
thought it
to.
was her head.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Well, if you 100% believe that, then we're gonna have a much better time making you feel stronger about this film.
Listen, I'll say this right off the bat.
get you.
No, listen. I don't have as big a problem as I had before. I do not. I am looking forward to watching it again. It took me years to see it the second time because I was so angry at the twist. So that's fine. And now this time what I saw, and with the explanation and other things, there are certain things that may not make the most sense, but I can look past them. It's like watching Fight Club. Okay?
Yeah,
There's certain scenes in Fight Club.
like
and I've seen-
the POV scenes.
just things like that, just things
Yeah.
that I don't want to spoil. I don't want to get into every damn thing with it, but certain things that I was like, well, honestly, okay, I'll say one big thing. When we see when they're inside the that store they go to, and we see not her point of view, us as the viewer, and they show who is walking in that thing, and it's the guy in the security camera. It's not her point of view, it's us as the viewer. Those are my beefs. That shot there and the thing with the head that I was talking about early. That I can live with ultimately how it ends and why in the explanation, where before I couldn't as much. But this time I can look past those things, but I cannot look past what they show us as the viewer. And that was the nail in the coffin for me, was that they show the security camera while it's happening, while the scene is happening, and I wish they didn't have to do that, and they show the guy. They show the big guy going over to, the guy at the locker and doing the thing and killing while he's opening up that thing.
I see what you're saying. It's like the director's almost cheating the audience out of even being able to believe it as opposed to supporting it. The funny thing is, people that are arguing about it are not even going as deep as what you're saying. They're just mad at the ending.
See, I used to be. Now I'm not. But I saw those two scenes and I can't look past them.
Yeah, but that scene is also being seen through the eyes of the police within her dream. So she's basically telling a story almost of like,
So why would she say that? Oh, and then as this is happening,
this
we're
must
going
be
to
where
see-
this must be where I got caught. I get it. The point of view is like, it's too all over the place for you to just be like, oh, that's a cool twist. People are like, what the fuck? But
Well,
Well,
you
then
can tell
again,
she's in
Martyrs
love.
spend too much time on this. It's going to dominate the conversation, I think.
But that's the movie. I think. I mean, honestly, I think her
There's
whole thought process is that she loves Alexia. Alexia, it's her friend. That's it. It's a friendship. But she loves Alexia. It's funny. There's like some parallels here with like sexual frustration. She's obviously a lesbian, but
Short hair.
Alexia doesn't, have the same feelings for her, and that's sparking her dark side as well.
Like Martyrs again, another comparison to Martyrs.
Dave, I'm surprised you didn't mention, the chase scene and the gun with the bullets.
Okay. The chase scene, I remember that being my problem initially when I watched it. When I thought back to that movie, that was my issue. This time, upon further review and watching it and being privy to Fight Club, which I've watched so many times, one of my absolute favorite movies, and being able to accept that, I said, well, if you can accept that, and you say, well, he was looking at this scene, and he was seeing himself there, but it's really, no, and being able to talk about it without getting too deep, I'm able to do that with Fight Club, so I really should be able to do it with this. And that's why that stuff doesn't bother me. I can explain those things away.
And
the only two things I can't explain away were the two things I mentioned.
Isn't it even possible, because another big thing isn't it even possible that everything she's saying is just complete bullshit to begin with, because there was never any truck.
Yeah, what about the truck? You're right. And
there's never any truck, and then obviously if there's no truck, then there's no saw at the end where she is able to kill the stranded driver who she had a premonition of earlier in the film.
Yeah.
It's it's a possibility that none of this happened the way it did.
I guess so. And I'm okay with that. I really am.
And I even had someone tell me that they felt that Marie might not have even killed anyone. And I thought that was a little far-fetched, but the reasoning was the way Alex shows up at the end. It's almost, I mean, I get people do, and I totally disagreed with this person, but you almost get the sense like Alex is almost like there to like support her and see how she's doing. When would you really go see somebody like that after they just beheaded your father, decapitated your mother, killed your baby brother, and gutted your dog?
Well, the one thing that I think remains true to this is that the police officers saw her on the surveillance camera. So as much as the story, as much as the story part is her rendition, that was the reality.
Somehow. Yeah, because she got caught. She got caught somehow, so it had to be true, and the wounds all match up to everything that was going on in the film.
Tell me this: would you ever be in a person's house, a house that you've never been into? Parents, your friend's parents, the first time in that house. Would you ever be in that house and lay in bed and not only jerk off, but put music on so if somebody comes around, you can't hear them?
That's the problem you have with the movie. I never even thought of that before. She's on the third floor.
She's flicking her bean to music.
Flicking her bean.
I guess you can do that. That's what she's doing.
Double clicking the mouse.
But if you're doing that with headphones on, that means if someone knocks on the door or this or that, you can't hear it. Now, if I'm jerking off in a strange place, I got to be able to hear my surroundings. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Right? Did you get that?
Yeah, I've done it.
I had to get onto something about the narrative.
Flick my bean.
Christian often flicks his bean.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something real positive about this. This is probably my favorite soundtrack of all these movies.
Yeah, man.
It's ambient noise. It's cool stuff. Oh, I dig it.
Tension filled.
I dig it.
The first time I saw this movie, I was on edge the whole fucking time. I'm like, what am I watching here? I felt like the same way when I watched some of the classics for the first time. Like, I thought I was watching something special when I saw this movie. I remember I recommended this.
Yeah, me too.
I remember I recommended this to a couple of friends, and one friend absolutely hated it. The other one said, who's a horror buff, said he had to pause it so many times to take smoke breaks, just calm himself down, because he said that he felt the level of intensity getting so extreme that he hadn't experienced that in a movie before. And he's watching it at home. This is not in a movie theater. This is at home. That he took 4 breaks during the movie to go out and smoke just to sort of take a break from the movie because he thought it was so tense. You don't hear that often.
No, that's cool. I dig it.
Yeah.
I think it is tense. And I remember I think that's why I was so angry with it the very first time I saw it. Because I enjoyed it so much up to that point. I was like, oh man, that was a great movie. And fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and
that's what it was.
I hear
Now
you.
I don't feel that way.
I think you got to take it at face value that clearly, we're getting the story's perspective from somebody who's mentally deranged. Because even the idea of having a dream that actually manifests itself later on. Jeez, I can't say that word. Later on in the film,
Demonic?
It's like, well, she doesn't have superpowers. She couldn't have known that driver was going to be stranded on the side of the road. So I almost take it like she's just mixing up her story all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
That probably wasn't even her dream when she first woke up in the car. You could have a dream about chasing yourself, and it doesn't have to be with a saw. She didn't get into detail.
And to make the final chase even make sense, and what I mean by the final chase is pretty much the whole fucking movie, because it's one huge fucking chase scene, pretty much. But to make it make sense, really, is it a final chase, or is it just her, like her personality is kind of dueling it out, like a sort of like a manifestation of her fighting her own demon, and really, that's the only way you can really, well, not the only way you can take it, but the way I take it, because then otherwise,
that's the film.
If you can't get into that, then none of the chase scenes even make sense. So the whole sequence in the greenhouse and everything else, and then in the washroom and then the gas station, none of it, you would never be able to watch this movie again and enjoy it.
Well, there was one scene in the gas station, and I think, one thing before I get to that, one thing is that people might be a little pissed off because the manifestation of her dark side, the guy who played, the killer, was really, really good.
Yeah.
And he's very detailed. He's wearing, you see his rings, you see his jacket, you see his keys. So you're looking at this stuff, and you're trying to find clues in that, and then to be given the ending, the twist, you're like, what? But he's a truck driver. He works for so and so, and he wears a ring with the letter P on it, like whatever.
That could have been someone she saw fucking the day before at the gas station.
Exactly.
That's
The point. But at the gas station, there's a scene where the killer is talking to Jimmy, and at one point rubs his hand over Jimmy's, but does it in a very feminine way. Did you notice that?
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember thinking, look at that.
Interesting.
Little subtle thing.
I don't think this is weird being my second view, because all I was doing this view was looking.
You flicking the bead?
Yes. As soon as she started flicking her bean, I whipped it out. I did it with her, and I put headphones in. I didn't care if my wife.
I love how it's always whipping it out. I'm not just. I whipped it out.
I went searching for it. I opened my fly and I went searching for it.
Oh man! But listen, the first act is what can't be beat. To me, we haven't addressed it at all. We've talked about everything but the freaking ass-kicking first act of this film, which is just amazing, with the head in the stairs. The first time I saw that, wow. I mean, and when she's under the bed, or pardon me, when she's in the closet, and the throat slit, and I'm a big throat slit guy. I've said it here before.
I love slitting throats.
I love slit throats. We all love slit throats. Dave, a fucking dog and a kid get killed in this movie. It's like you just came and went to heaven.
Except we got cheated on both of them. That was the.
We
didn't really see either.
Yeah, you didn't see them.
I wanted to see a kid blown to pieces. Little fucker.
We didn't see it.
Yeah, we didn't even see it. It could have been the best.
You kind of saw it in a flashback.
Yeah, you kind of saw an aftermath. Yeah.
We didn't see it.
Yeah, what good is that? Put a dead dog in front of me.
Does a head cut? Does a head come off that
on
easily?
its natural causes, for all I care.
No, he was bloodied.
I know. And you know what? This is a scene. There you go about me and the dogs. That did not need to be in this movie.
Look at you. You're usually the first one to say, let's kill all the dogs.
Not always. That's what I'm saying. I don't want the dog and the kid to always die. I just like when it's done. It doesn't always have to happen for the sake of having it happen.
I love when it's done.
Well, it had to be in this case because, the whole anyone who was coming between her and Alex.
I know.
But the head coming off is phenomenal. Like, I didn't know a head could come off that easily, but...
Whatever.
But the spray after?
Yeah, the spray after.
Oh,
awesome, dude.
I was like, how much blood just came out? That is awesome.
And the cement saw death at the end is like gives Frontiers a run for its money.
Yeah, because it was like even at one point
shit.
during that scene, I'm like, this is overkill. Like, because Alex is literally just sitting in the back screaming.
Oh, and again, Achilles.
And
she
then
pulls
the
a piece of
Achilles,
glass.
yeah, piece of glass. Yep.
Again, oh.
Ooh,
Yeah, beautiful.
awesome. Yes, awesome. That's what I'm saying. The first time I watched this, all I did was marvel at it. And I was tensed out, and it was tension, and it was gore, and I was so along for the ride, in the end threw me for a loop. This time, all I was doing was looking for the flaws, because I'm reviewing. I want to discuss what's going on here. So honestly, I feel the next time is going to be my best viewing of it. Because I don't have to worry about any of that shit. I can just take it for what it is, enjoy the production values, enjoy everything, knowing I'm not going to pick it apart, and I'm just going to enjoy the gore and enjoy the movie for what it is. So I'm really excited to watch it again.
Yeah, I think once you accept like what it actually is, and accept that the opening really does kind of set you up for the end, you can enjoy everything in the middle. And if anything, picking it apart becomes more like, okay, well, let's try to make this make sense. It's not going to hurt the film in any way. Because like Christian said, with like you said, Dave, with the scene at the gas station, with the point of view, like it starts to think like, all right, well, why is it that point of view? What could it be?
I'm not doing that.
Well, you could. I'm just saying.
You could, but if somebody has that type of brain diagnosis, whatever you want to call it, if that's going on, then honestly, anything is possible. You don't know what they're thinking, and what you guys said. This is her rendition of the story anyway, so that works for me. Anyone that has a problem with that, see me, and I'll explain it to you. I will defend that.
And a very big giveaway throughout the whole film, even when you're not even sure what the hell's going on, is every time Marie comes in contact with Alex,
Yes.
Alex is terrified and
Awesome.
It's great.
Yep, that was, like I said, that's what I was looking for this time, to see everything, knowing a movie like this, knowing what the outcome is, and then watching it with different eyes. That was what I was doing, and I was just focusing on that aspect of the film, not anything else, And yeah, that played out so well. She was gagged, so it made sense, and her reaction is 100% genuine, knowing the twist and watching it again. All that works. There's no BS. The only BS was, like I said, those two small things. But everything else worked in the film. So I can't complain.
Do you want to hear something crazy? When I watched this the first time, I was going to open with the story. It's actually fits perfectly here, even though I just interrupted you. Sorry, Dave.
No, you're fine.
But the reality is that I remember when I was watching it, and you're sitting there. And again, because I like, stealing ideas from movies and thinking of movies, I'm watching, sitting there watching, I'm saying, what would be fucking great if there was a slasher movie and the killer was like, or the victim that's running away is actually the killer. And I was saying this as I was watching this movie, saying we've never had this yet. And then this movie did it. So subconsciously, obviously this movie was working, because it made me actually think of what the outcome was, and I had not read a fucking thing about it.
Holy shit.
Look at you. That's like predicting Roy.
I'm not saying, I didn't say I got, no, but I'm not saying I got the plot twist. I just said, wouldn't it be cool? And then within, 20, 30 minutes later, I'm like, holy fuck, this movie's doing it.
You just happened
to
think
that's
about that while watching this
absolutely
movie.
a true story, because I was thinking, what would be great to, because I was like so enjoying it. Like I said, it was like candy. I was like, this is what we've been missing. This is a slasher movie, like a chase film, with that's suspenseful, it's tense, it's scary, and it's fucking gory. Everything you want in a horror movie. And so then I wasn't, obviously, when the plot twist came, I think I was even more, I think I embraced it even more so, because of the fact that I had this thought earlier, like, what if someone was to create a movie like that? And then here we are. And that's happened once or twice when you've watched a movie and it ends up playing out the way that you're thinking. You're like, holy shit. Now, that's not how I thought it was going to play out. It just was this thought that I had in my mind when I was watching it.
Awesome.
Obviously, something was happening subconsciously there.
Based on a sort of true story.
Based on a sort of true story. No, it's true. It's true. I mean,
and then he woke up.
Me. Yeah.
Then he woke up and he was flicking his bean.
To myself. It's a weird thing.
Awesome. Wow. So cool. Yeah, a good movie. Lots of
Yeah. The instruments of death still need a little explaining.
Dude, that kill at the end was amazing. That buzzsaw kill, like you said.
Oh, it's a great kill. It's
Dude,
just,
wow,
like,
awesome.
if those are how the kills happen, we need to know where she got the tools from. I need to know. What, do you have a Home Depot in the back of your car?
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe she's she does it for a living. Maybe she's a landscaper. That's her job, and that's the whole thing. Yeah, and Alex is her partner. That's their job. They go across France and they cut people's lawns, trim their hedges, and
So they weren't going to the family's house to study international law. They were going to landscape.
yes, they were going to check out a new area and see if they can get new clients because business was slow. See, there you go. I've explained it away. Boom. We should all be signed up and have jobs in Hollywood. Really. Am I right?
Done and done. You are absolutely, positively correct.
Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. Well, I don't know. Is there anything left to say here? Are we going to actually go under again?
Oh, we're coming close, very
Right.
close. So I'll rate. You want me to start this over? Or you want to keep it the order
Go
we've been
ahead.
going?
I didn't even know there was an order. I'm just going with
Yeah.
the flow.
Well, you might be surprised with this rating, but it's a 9.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Ooh-wee.
That is a very nice rating.
Coming from you, I'm not surprised at that rating.
Yeah, well, you know what?
What the hell does that mean?
This is your shit. This is
think-
the reason
yeah.
we're having this show.
I know what, though? I think at one point it was a 10. And again, what's the difference between a 9.5 and a 10? I'm not too sure,
Toxie.
but I've watched it. Yeah, Taxi. The Toxic Avenger wasn't in this.
It would have been
Top of the mop.
Right. Top of the Mops is correct. But obviously, I've said I've watched it 6 times. I love this movie. It's close, like it's as close to a perfect horror film in my opinion, and I'll continue to watch it. So who cares? 9.5,
If it
10.
said, I'm not Marie, I am Melvin.
Yeah.
That would have been a 10.
Mwah! Bellissimo. Wait, this is not Italian. Wait. Très bien.
Caribbean. What did you say?
No.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
French. Très bien.
Très bien.
Very
it's
good.
Very good. Very good.
Very good.
Un, deux, trois.
Pirates of the Très
Now, you assholes give your ratings. Jesus.
I'll go next, Dave. No, I'm glad we covered this film. My rating actually went up a little bit. I brought it up a half a point. I'm gonna give this one an 8.5.
Holy shit.
There we go.
I echo everything you just said. I had it at an 8. I've been talked up to 8.5. Same thing.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that something?
But no, I'm glad Christian was able to talk me up, and you too, Dave, were able to talk me up to that 8.5 because even coming in at an 8, I did enjoy this one. I don't want to say I enjoyed it more than Frontiers. I just felt like it was better. There was something else there, so I'm glad it went up.
Yeah, me too. And, sorry, Christian. It's
I
not
know.
a Hall of Fame.
Not a Hall of Famer.
I thought it was
What do we
gonna be
need? A
with
27?
28.
28.
Okay,
But
so
I thought, though, when I heard your 9.5, I thought Brandon was going high. I thought he was also going a 9 or a 9.5 or something. So I thought maybe. But then he said 8.5. I'm like, oh, no Hall of Fame. Damn.
that's okay.
Well, we still got 2 films left.
We got 2 films.
Yeah, that we do. And, wow!
Oh!
Wow! Right on the money. You guys know what that is, by the way, right?
That sounds like Sleepaway Camp.
Nope. Oh, I'm going to keep it on, then. Hold on. You got to
wait.
guess.
Friday 7. The new
Plug
Brandon.
in. Keep listening.
The Scanners?
Nope.
The Fly?
Nope.
Oh, Halloween 3.
No.
What?
Hysteria.
Nope.
We suck.
Wow. It's one of my favorites. Hold on. I snoozed it by accident when I picked it up.
was
The obvious part, when you heard it, the part that I hoped you would have figured out, when you heard it, was it. Like, I thought I was going to play that part, and as soon as you would say, oh, but now I don't know. We're going to have to wait. I'm going to play it one more time, hopefully. Because I want to see if you guys guess it, because the next part would have been the part, if you're going to guess it, you would have known. It's one of those things. Like, I would expect one of you two to hear that and say, oh, and then say the answer. You know?
I felt like we guessed it already.
I swear you did not. Let's get to the next one so I can set the alarm again.
All right, set it.
Oh, not just yet. Hold on. Hold on now.
Jump the fucking gun.
Hey,
Almost.
set the fucking alarm.
Well, whatever. You can. What is the next movie? We are. Oh, I know what we're doing next.
We're going deep inside
Yes.
Christian's anal cavity.
Yeah.
Yep. Inside.
Inside. From 2007, directed by Alexander Bustillo and Julien Marie. 4 months after the death of her husband, a woman on the brink of motherhood is tormented in her home by a strange woman who wants her unborn baby.
Indeed. Indeed, she wants it.
Oh, that's a spoiler, because that's really what you don't find that really, you don't know what their full reason is until the end.
All right, let me reread that. Who wants her unborn blank? You have to guess,
Better.
listeners. She wants her unborn
Better.
what?
Unborn. Yeah, that's.
Well, no, but what a
Wait.
spoiler review! Like, that's not your fault. It's just that tells the whole story.
Is that the B? You got that from the B?
I got that from the big. Okay, 4 months after the death of her husband, a woman on the brink of motherhood is tormented in her home by a strange woman.
There you
Who
go.
wants her blank baby. I'm sorry.
There's one sentence too much in that fucking description.
Yep. Strange woman is where it should end.
Done.
It should have ended at strange woman, but I went that extra mile. But
You're a
again,
strange
I
woman.
I feel like the last three films are the most popular ones.
Yes.
With High Tension, Inside, and Martyrs, and most people, honestly, you really can't listen to a review of these and enjoy it without having seen the film first. Even if it is a non-spoiler review, you want to see these films first.
I agree. That's how I am as a listener. Some people don't care. They don't give a shit. They just.
I've
Listen
listened
to
to
the show.
spoiler reviews and I haven't seen the movie, and it's fine. But like, I'd rather see the movie first.
100%. I would.
Yeah.
It's very, very rare. But that's me. Some listeners don't care. If they like. I was just saying this today. If you happen to like the host enough of the show that when a new one drops, you're going to listen no matter what,
Yeah.
then that's really cool. I mean, that's a testament to your show. So if anyone is listening to the three of us just talking, they haven't seen this and they don't care, thank you. We appreciate it.
And Beatrice is back.
Beatrice
Oh,
is back.
back. This is where it all begins.
Oh,
I mean,
what
this
a
is what I do her
fucking
from.
what an
This
opening
should
to
have
the
just
movie.
been called Beatrice Returns.
But this is her. This is what it's all about. She is kick-ass.
This is her coup d'etat.
coup de twat.
Coup de twat.
The beginning, I said it already, the opening to this movie is fucking phenomenal.
Oh man, so good.
What an opening shot.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying with the rain. How, a real good shot in the rain when they show the aftermath and the water's coming down, and the way it looks and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the way Sarah's character's just sitting there, it's like, oh. Do you like the look of like the baby, seeing it from the inside? With
No.
the baby.
No, that's one of my slight knocks.
Yeah, right.
that's,
Just a little.
that takes a bit off the total score. The CGI baby, I didn't mind it the first time because I love the movie so much. But now this is view 5.
Because after they get into the accent, you see it from the baby. You see it just looks like angry baby. Like, damn it, ow.
But
The baby
you're
did
right.
everything but say,
It does.
You're right. It's
Yeah.
so funny, but it's CGI, and then they cut to it, and you're like at some tense moments, and then you cut to this fucking CGI baby. You're like, it just takes you out of the movie, kind of.
yeah.
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 I could have
get-
done not it's so much inside, in that case. I could have
Right.
stayed outside.
Yeah. We should have been a little
Stay on
out.
the outside.
That's right, that baby. You might be the baby from friggin' Look Who's Talking or something.
Can I ask a question? What's happening? Yeah, Look Who's They should redo this as Look Who's Talking 4. Travolta.
Exactly. Nice.
Hey, you're
yeah.
gonna die. What is the violence that's happening in the city? What's going on in the city?
I
that
don't
everybody's
care. I
on edge?
can't.
You don't care.
That takes me out of it. If I try to concentrate, I have the same problem you do apparently because I wish that wasn't there. I
Again, it's just
understand why
thrown
they
in.
have it. Well, I understand why later on when they have that kid in the back of the car where that figures in. But I mean, big deal. That kid could have been busted for freaking blowing off fireworks outside of a church.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah.
the same
No,
kids
I
from
feel-
Frontiers.
Right? There you go.
Crossover.
What is the state of like unrest in France in this
Yeah.
time frame? There
I
must.
know.
I mean, it just must be. There must have been stuff going on. I feel like an idiot, but I don't know.
I don't
You
either.
know, I don't know what was going on in
They hate
2000.
their government. They hate their government. They've always hated their government. The French
Yeah.
Revolution. This is the French Extreme Revolution.
And they feel like they just have to throw it in at the beginning of the film to say, hey,
Yeah,
Zoot the Lord.
yeah,
they do.
vive la France.
People are from- I'll
Okay.
tell you. Let me
so
say
you guys
something.
thought the same thing. Okay, good. All right.
No. This chick is 42 years old in this movie. You guys realize that?
Beatrice?
Yes. 42 years old, and I don't know if I've ever been attracted to a killer more.
Okay.
Maybe
Except for Angela.
Milo. Who? Huh? Who?
Except for Angela.
Hey, that's my girl, my guy, my girl guy.
And Mila Kunis in American Psycho 2. That's the only reason to watch that movie. But
I've never heard of her.
I
think I've heard of Mila Kunis, but
yeah, whatever. Isn't that what I said? Mila. What did we say before?
Tomato.
Tomato.
I like the girl who
Absentia.
played Sarah. I don't know why, but
Absentia.
Beatrice doesn't do it for me.
Cinematography.
Yeah.
What? Beach doesn't do it for you?
She doesn't do it for me. She
That's
scares me
fine.
too much. She
I'll-
scares me too much.
Okay, that's fine. It's my kind of girl. She's nuts.
Well, that's the thing. I like nuts, but I genuinely think that she's not
We
playing
know
a
you like
character
nuts.
in either of these movies.
That's why I like her, because she's not playing nuts. She's
We
not.
rested on your chin. I'm sorry.
Again, chin ballitis.
Now,
Chinian.
like, isn't it a little convenient that the whole story takes place one day before the due date? Is that kind of easy to figure out if you're not in contact with someone who's pregnant?
You don't want to talk about Christmas?
Oh, she wants to be able to make sure that it's the right time to cut the fucking baby out of her.
I know, but how does she know, like, where she is at what point? Like, is she following her, stalking her?
Yeah, well, yeah, because she's in the photographs. So you
Why
figure
not?
it just didn't start. It didn't just start that day. There's been some lead
Well,
up
yeah,
to this.
yeah.
Obviously, 9 months lead up, or well, not 9 months, but you know what I mean. 4 months. What does it take place after the accident? 4 months later.
I think
Yeah,
so.
4 months later. Yeah.
3 or 4 months.
Yeah, 4
Okay.
months. I have it written down.
Okay.
Yep, 4 months. There you
Wait,
go.
before I forget, did you guys notice the address? The address of her house?
Yes, I did.
666.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yep. I
They
noticed.
have it there, but they put some like foliage in front of it, so it's not so like blatantly obvious. But her address is 666, which I thought was pretty cool.
What I did notice in this one, and you referenced it in High Tension, was the soundtrack in this one. Again, more thumping audio, like machine-like, industrial.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Yeah, I dig it too. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot going on though. It's now number one. I'm not a home invasion guy. I've said it before, but it really works here. Mostly because you have to have enough of a body count. You can't just have the person being pursued for an hour and nobody gets killed. That's the problem. This movie does it right. They have people come in just to get killed. Not just to get killed. I mean, in a matter of speaking, I guess. But, I mean, there's relevance to them being there. I mean, of course, I do have a problem with this movie, but...
I do too.
I have one major problem with it.
Oh, well, let's all talk about our problems. Since we all just said we had a problem with it.
Let's talk about our problems. This is like counseling, huh? Okay.
Brandon can't get it up,
Well, right.
Yeah, my
and he loves nuts.
Christian needs to get to a better circus,
Yeah, I always do. I'm always looking
Yeah.
for something better.
and I need to get medication because I'm stroking out and stroking off.
It's stroking off. You're being... Brandon, what is your problem?
How the hell did she get into the house? Especially after the cops
They
came
show
and
it.
locked her in. What do you mean they show it? They didn't show it.
Yeah,
Did she go in through the skylight?
listen to me. You can see her walking in the very background when the cops are in the house talking to her, questioning her because they left the door open, and it's real quick. If you blink, you'll miss it.
You see her?
Christian, am I right?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Yeah.
What?
Yes, sir.
Head explosion.
Mind blown.
Beatrice is hot now.
She still scares the shit out of me, but I remember seeing her obviously like fading into the shadows when she's doing that like hush scene.
It's badass. Dude, you guys know that she went to jail as a volunteer now.
Yeah, married a rapist.
Yeah, married a rapist in jail, too.
Yeah, and she was supposed to be in the Sixth Sense, but she couldn't get a passport to work in the U.S. because of her 2 arrests for cocaine possession.
Yeah, she's basically, but she was 42. It wasn't like she was a
no,
teenager.
she's a fucking weirdo. That's what. Like, listen.
I like her for it though. That's
Hey,
she's like
anyone
Lindsay Lohan, but
who wants to marry a
Those are
rapist
hot.
is good in my book.
well, that forget that. I'm just whatever.
Forget that.
Well, we can't talk about her all day. We have to talk about what she's doing here and how she's the shadowed figure. It's freaking.
Isn't it crazy though? After she introduces herself through the door, and it's creepy as fuck, that the girl just is like, she goes away, calls the cops, whatever, then goes and starts developing pictures.
Immediately.
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, well that's a little wacky, but
Well, that's her job, and she's
exactly.
She has the means. If you were in that position, you snap the picture. I think you'd probably do the same damn thing.
Yeah, I'm terrified. Let me go to my dark room.
And she wants to flick your bean.
I want to flick my bean and develop my pictures.
I'll let it go. I'll let it go. And my biggest problem, so you mentioned the problem, I'll tell you mine. You know I love gore. I've told you I'm gore. This movie has fucking gore.
Indeed.
Guess what? It almost
too
goes.
much gore?
It does go Monty Python-esque in a couple of scenes where you're kind of like, it takes you out of it because you're just like, oh come on! Like when the cop comes back up, pops back up to life, and it's literally a comical moment in it.
The cop coming back is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I actually was writing down notes, and I was writing down that I thought the cops were behaving well and doing all the right things until it got to the point where he's on the leash with the other guy. First of all, why are they still on the leash together? Yeah. And then he becomes, zombie cop.
And that's the problem. The zombie cop part or whatever happened there, that was a misstep. That hurts the movie a bit.
I can look the other way on it. Upon this viewing, I had problems with it before. This is like my 5th view, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm going back and
mine
forth.
too, yeah.
And even though I'm not crazy about that, I can look the other way on it.
They left her upstairs in the bedroom.
What's that?
They left her upstairs in the bedroom and went down to the circuit breaker. They asked her if she could walk. She could walk. Why didn't they just leave the house? If you were a cop, that's the first thing you do. Take this person out of this house. No, you stay here. We're gonna go try to get the lights on with a crazy maniac woman in the house. It was a little bit goofy.
That is a little goofy, and I never thought about that. My thing is much more. It's heavy, and nobody mentions it, and it's so obvious. The problems I have that I've discussed this, and no one else brings it up. And every time I watch them, I'm like, okay, wait, maybe I'm wrong. It's like Black Christmas. It's like maybe I'm wrong. Hold on, let me look and see. It is so obvious what happens. First of all, when she's up in the bathroom and she's locked in, and the cops come to the door, they ring the doorbell 4 times. This girl can. Would you agree she could hear the doorbell ring? The girl in the bathroom, our victim here.
Yeah.
Okay. So she knows someone's ringing the doorbell. Okay. And I would, and they do it 4 times, and the girl goes downstairs to answer the door. At no point whatsoever, all she has to do is say, "Help! Help! Help!" Doesn't happen. That brings the movie down a point for me. That pisses every time I watch it. It's all she has to do. If you're in that position, any asshole is going to yell for help.
I remember kind of feeling like that too, but for whatever reason, I felt like she was scared or whatever and couldn't quite hear what was going on. But you're right, because even if she thought something was happening, she would scream for help. Yeah.
You have nothing to lose. The woman's going to kill you anyway. You're trapped in this thing. You have one chance to call for help. Someone rings your doorbell and you're in a house. You scream your head off for help. You do it. I don't care what you do. You do it. Now, that's the first problem. Okay? And that's a big one. That's a big one.
But she redeems herself by killing Mom.
That's the other problem.
You don't like how she kills Mom?
Because it never should. She would have, first and foremost, she is behind a bathroom door. But her mother says her name before she opens the door. Now, I venture to say that if either one of your parents are on the other side of a door and you're in a situation like that and you hear their voice, you're going to recognize it. And even if you don't, and somehow you don't, her mother's at the door. This woman opens the door, so she's looking at the person in front of her when she opens the door. There's no way you can't when you're opening a door. She pulls the door open, okay, and then she looks for her and then lunges at her. There's no way in that time, that frame of time, she would not be able to see the person she's about to stab.
Well, the mother was dressed in all black.
I give it a pass too.
Yeah, I give that a pass.
I do give it a pass. and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, she was heartbroken.
I find that they do a good job with that too, because you're just like, no, and then
she even says it to the cop later on. I killed my mom.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, but I wish I can get over the fact that she has a good 5 seconds to see who that is, and she still plunges the thing in her.
I don't know if you're thinking right in the terror of all of it.
Really? You
Yeah.
see your mother, you're not gonna freaking. I don't know. It would have made sense if there was no. I wish there would have almost been no door on.
I just want to know how Beatrice is a sleight of hand magician who's always able to hide sewing needles up her sleeves. Which is actually pretty cool, because I love the way the cops come back in and they're like, there's only one problem. What do you do? Because, they could clearly tell she's not pregnant, so they know something's up, and then they say arrest her, and, everything. That's when I was writing, like, okay, the cops are doing the right thing. Like, how can they see that she's palming a needle? But then it turns to craziness, a needle in the neck, a head blown off.
Oh, dude.
Then it gets just batshit, and it's
Scissors?
awesome.
She just fucks shit up with scissors the whole movie. Those big freaking scissors.
Man, poor
artist.
Pierre. Poor Pierre.
Yeah, JP. Yeah.
JP.
Jean Pierre.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I know.
I figure if you're a woman, you're cringing, no question asked. But I was cringing as a guy when she sticks the scissors into the fucking belly button.
Oh, yes, so was I.
Oh,
Oh.
man, man.
When were you a guy?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Brandon, have you ever done that? Have you ever taken your finger and pushed in your belly button?
No, I don't like that. That skeeves me out.
Okay.
No, I cringed at the same thing. I don't like the idea of that. You cut someone's belly button and all their insides fall out. Maybe that's why it's called insides.
Now hold on.
Insides.
Why would she do that? If you think about it, if she wants this baby, don't you think by putting that in her navel that would cause damage to the baby?
Well, no, she knew she wasn't. She knew she was delivering that baby that night. So.
Yeah, I suppose.
I do love Sarah's just survival instinct, though.
Yeah.
She's great. She is great.
Awesome. I mean,
They're both great.
A home tracheotomy, and then duct tape it.
Fuck.
Like my neck is hanging off. I'm just gonna duct tape it back on.
It goes off the rails. Like this is.
It becomes like Asian extreme.
I think this is this may be the goriest. I mean, it's you can argue this. Martyrs is fucking gory too. I mean, they're all fucking gory.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this might be the bloodiest.
Yeah. I think
I'll
you're
say
very
that.
bloody, although
I think Martyrs is the most disturbing.
Yes.
Martyrs is bloody as hell. The first half is. I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all bloody. That's the thing about the French Extreme. Yes, there's gore, but they go bloody too. It isn't just gore. It's blood and guts straight up, and they're good stories. Here's what I like. When JP comes and visits, the line that she says to him, because she has to pretend to be her mother, and she says something about the birth will save us. We've both been through hell.
Yeah, it's a good line.
Yeah, that's prophetic for she's telling the truth. The birth will save us. She is talking about the birth, her style of birthing it. But they've been through hell, and it's going to save it. And how she actually and that's what's weird about this. Does the mother just decide, I want to have a baby, with the thought of it being taken away? All of a sudden, her motherly instincts kick in, and it's like she has an arm.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, and even at one point, she puts the sewing needle to her own stomach to basically say, I will sooner kill my own baby than let you take it from me.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great, and but I feel like things shift towards the end, and I feel like even though the zombie cop scene is terrible, that's when things shift, obviously, because then it becomes she becomes sacrificial. Sarah,
Sorry.
It is.
I know, it's so
he's
crazy.
He's got those sunken
that
eyes.
Fucking
it's
shit,
terrible.
crazy.
And what did she do? Didn't she have the gun to his head? So she blew his head off.
Shot his eyes out. That's it.
She shot his eyes out cleanly. That really bugs me.
It's something that irks me too.
Yeah, but then Sarah becomes almost sacrificial because she's hurt. She knows she's not going to make it, so she needs the woman's help to save her baby.
Yes, she does. I'm just blown away by the brutality of all the kills in this movie. It's just freaking brutal, right?
Oh, it is, no question. It is, and it holds up. And
now, do you get the? Sorry, I just wanted to ask if you guys got the impression that after she kills the cop, if there was any way for her to deliver this baby and keep Sarah alive that she would have?
No, she doesn't seem. She
I
seems. Her goal seems to get that baby, and it doesn't matter how. I mean,
I'm not
by any
100%
means.
sure about that.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure because her motherly instinct kicks in to save Sarah's baby and to try and help Sarah, but she can't. And ultimately, in the end, it doesn't favor anyone. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know what I'm trying to say. I'm just not articulating it properly.
I love that ending is a great ending, a haunting ending.
It's tragic. It's tragic.
Oh my God, it's a movie that I don't think I could show my wife. I don't know if she would appreciate this film.
Yeah, that's a tough one. See,
I imagine most mothers wouldn't want to watch this type of film.
I hear you. It's definitely not easy. Yeah, definitely not a pregnant woman either.
Yeah, you probably want to see this before you have kids.
Before,
Yeah, high school.
Not if they're freaking in utero,
Yeah.
Way before you have kids, maybe. Way before, but during. How about they say twat in this movie?
You love that word.
Yes, the word of the night.
Twat.
That's right. It's the word of the night. But she does call her a twat, that nurse. I love that part.
Yeah.
Just for no reason, she lights up and she says all that stuff.
That nurse was a fucking bitch, though.
She is that. Right.
That nurse, that was a creepy, unsettling scene, too. The nurse just coming in and talking about how horrible everything is going to be and just dreadful. And then she gets up and then she goes, twat. Was it twat or cunt? I guess it was twat.
It was twat.
Yeah. It was twat.
I'm the twat.
I was trying to think, maybe that scene would come back. It's funny, my dad at one point was like, is that the nurse from the hospital?
I know, right? It's weird. It's definitely weird.
But I don't know why. I just got the feeling watching this again this time that they were almost like in it together at the end. In
a way, I do see what you're saying.
The woman and Sarah. It didn't feel as malicious as it intended to be. Like, yeah, she had to kill Sarah to get the baby out, but it's almost like Sarah knew that. Like they couldn't deliver the baby the proper way, so she cut her out. Didn't she say like it's stuck?
Something. She said something. I forgot.
She said something to the extent like it's stuck because I feel like the woman was trying to deliver Sarah's baby for her, and then she says it's stuck, and then the woman makes the decision like, okay, I have to cut her open to get this baby out. But it's almost like Sarah's like okay with that because she's going to save the baby, and at that point, the woman Beatrice has already taken a flamethrower to her face. She's not long for this world. So
she burned her good, man.
Oh man.
A little again over the top.
A little bit.
Over the top. A little bit. Top. I still love it.
She was like the other Schultz sister. She was like the third Schultz sister. She was almost just a black skeleton walking around. It was
just a fucking mess. She looked like what's his face? Philippe. What is his name from Frontiers? That came out of the oven.
Oh, Hans.
Farid.
Hans. The taunts.
Hans cooked Farid. It was Farid.
That's right.
How cool was she, though? Going back to the beginning, just Beatrice's character, when you just see her as a silhouette in the window.
Oh.
Right out of a Telangalo movie. Yeah?
She's just lurking.
Yeah, it's just like a shadowed figure, creepy voice from behind the door.
Awesome.
Yeah, fantastic, yeah.
A shadowy figure. She's just there, and so cool. All that stuff, the way it's set up, it's a great setup to a home invasion. The before is great. I mean, when she gets in, it goes to a whole other level, but a great first act, too. And even before that, what we're learning about this Sarah, about how, it's sad. I'd rather be alone, and she doesn't want the help.
So
and then
cold.
she's watching the family, taking the pictures, and, she knows she's never going to have a father to the baby. And she's that distraught just because her husband's. She had visions of her and her husband and the baby, and it's never going to happen. And it hurt her so bad that part of her doesn't want to even have the baby.
Yeah, you could tell she's like she's almost indifferent. Like she doesn't want it, which almost makes you feel like the other woman deserves to have it.
Right. Yeah, almost. And she even says it to her. She calls her on it. She goes, "You don't want this baby. I this and that, the other thing." And
she's been spying on us. You can see it. She's been. She hates life. She hates people. The only downfall is it takes place at Christmas, and it doesn't feel very Christmassy.
I know. I still call it you're right. It doesn't.
Like
I find an excuse to watch it in December though every year.
it's very bizarre. Like it doesn't feel there's no snow. I mean, and I'm like France, depending on the area.
I thought that was it. And
France. No, depending on the
The
area. That was it. I'm done with thought.
and
No,
France.
but I mean, you'd feel like there's areas that still get snow, and
Yeah, man.
it just you never get any of that in this. Doesn't feel like it could be like summer.
Right, it's like Holidays, that Halloween episode from Kevin Smith that Brandon loves so much.
love it. I just thought it was better than the other shit.
Okay, sorry. Fair enough. But here's something else. The cops say they could have got your name. It's on the letterbox outside. And she calls her Sarah. How many people have their first name on their freaking mailbox?
Sarah.
Well, she would know. There probably would have been some sort of article written. Sarah, whatever that last name is survived.
Well, yes, but a stranger that's coming in the house wouldn't have done that. I understand why she is the name, but I'm saying from the
Well,
cop,
once she calls her Sarah, then she gets freaked out.
Yeah, I get all that. That's what she told the cop. But I'm saying the cop's point of view is she probably whoever was trying to get in the house that said your name probably got it from the letterbox outside.
Maybe it says
That's-
S something like S, so you should guess Sarah.
Yeah. So the cop's like, well, I guess she may have guessed Sarah with just an S. Could have been
That
Solange.
doesn't bother me at all. I just really didn't know how she got into the house. But now that you say you can see it, I got to go back.
Oh yeah, it's sweet. It's just you got to look for
So
it.
she sneaks. You see her sneak into the house while the cops are in there.
Yeah, it's just like a quick shot.
Yeah.
You'll see it in the background.
Jeez, that's awesome.
It is awesome.
Because that was like my major problem with this movie, besides zombie
Fixed.
Fixed, totally fixed, totally fixed. Because they kept showing the overview of the house, and they were showing like a skylight. And I'm like, why do they keep showing this? Did she crawl into? How did she want to crawl into a skylight?
She hushed herself in.
Yeah,
Yeah, she did Hush, exactly. I was just going to say that, like in Hush. Right, totally. That's brilliant. Man. You know what this movie had that the others didn't? Well, no, the others had it a little bit, but I always like watching, when I watch these foreign movies, there's something funny about the translation where people state the obvious or say something funny like you wouldn't see in an American movie. And there's like a couple lines, like when the guy, well, this one isn't even funny. Well, it kind of is. When he says to him, you just barge into someone's house, he tells him.
Yeah.
when JP sit on the couch and the real mother comes in.
Yeah. It's hilarious. That was
It's fun.
creepy though. Then who are you?
Yeah,
Yes,
after he
great.
just told her he was the mother. Yeah, and then boom, she got right on his ass. But I'll tell you what, the prisoner, I think it was the prisoner, he made the most sense when he's like, "We got to get out of this fucking place," he says.
yeah, he's the only one. But no, he's attached by a like it looks like a lanyard,
Fucking leash.
and he can't get off. I would have taken the cop's pants off after he was take his pants off.
We know you would
know,
have.
give him a few rubbing tugs, and then get out of the house.
Flick your bean.
Flick your bean, flick his bean, and
I
get
don't care
out
if
of
you're
there.
dead. I'm sucking this cock.
No, because he was attached. He was clipped on like the back of his jeans.
I guess you're right. All right.
It was silliness,
I
but
think we're coming close to the time.
what about the ending?
What about the twist?
What,
I call
well,
it-
you
I
guys
call
are
it-
throwing. What? Let's go. What about the ending?
I was gonna go right to the rocking chair scene.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Haunting.
it is
Yeah.
beautiful. Now I'm assuming you hear her gasping, so I'm assuming she's gonna die.
That never occurred to me.
Oh, I'm like 100% convinced she's dying. She'll be dead soon.
I never thought that, to be honest with you.
You really think she's walking out of there with that baby in her condition?
In her burnt
know.
face.
I like to think she is for some reason.
You hear her gasping, and then I felt like I heard a laugh. Maybe that was just the baby. Maybe that was the music starting to play for the credits. But I mean, it was a very depressing movie because
Maybe you're stroking out.
I
Hearing
smelled
What's your soundtrack?
burnt toast, and I heard laughing.
Oh, shit.
Spilled burnt toast.
Christian, you took it that she was just rocking with the baby until she left this earth.
Admittedly, I got it. I admit I will have to side with Dave here. I just stopped. Like, okay, her condition, she's not doing so well.
No.
Yeah, she's not doing well. But I didn't think she was gonna die right there.
Maybe I'm looking too deep into this, but I'm telling you, the
I thought it
fact
was
that
just
the
this
baby.
haunting factor of you see what's her face
Inside.
with nothing, her stomach exposed, baby out, and she's just rocking, happy as fucking a pig in shit because she got what she wanted. The end.
I agree. Wow. Christian, you're like right on it. Wow, look at you. You guys still don't know it. I'm going to let it play. I'm going to talk over it until the good part talks. Until the good part comes in. We'll talk over it a little. But I consider that a twist. Do you guys? You know what I'm talking about when we find out the whole reason. Huh?
The whole reason. Oh,
that she was in the other car.
Yeah, the other car.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful.
And it was her baby that actually was Angry Baby.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it was. And it makes sense. Any baby's going to be angry. if that happens to it.
Angry
this might be the
baby.
part. You still don't know.
What the fuck, man?
Wow. Some people are screaming at their radios right now. How about now? Hold on. Wow, you guys are stumped?
I
Yeah.
have no idea.
It's an anthology.
Creep Show.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Right?
I can't believe it.
I knew you're kicking yourself now, aren't
Yeah.
you?
I'm gonna edit this right out so we look so much better.
Yeah, you got to take Dave out.
I'm gonna edit it like he's gonna go, do you know what this is? And it's gonna cut the Brandon going, Creep Show.
And you're gonna go back and record yourself saying Creep Show at the exact same
Wait,
time.
hold on one second. Is it Creep Show? Yeah.
No, this is good podcasting. There are some people that knew right away. They're like, are these assholes going to freaking figure this out?
No.
I know they
You know what it is?
We choked.
Like I said, I don't hear very well. It was even when you gave the anthology clue, I was like,
No.
"Is that Creep Show?"
I heard very well. I choked. That's fucking.
Oh, I choked too. I mean,
All right.
We gotta do ratings quick because we went over.
Yeah, we did. Okay, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Wait, that's 27.
Yep.
That's not a Hall of Fame.
Not a Hall of Famer. Ah.
I wanted to make 27 the number. Brandon and JP talked me out of it. I'm gonna tell.
We would have too many films in the Hall of Fame already.
3 not. Yeah, I guess you're right because we have had some pretty good films.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie, you know what? I looked at my IMDb. I had it down as a 10 out of 10. But truth be told, I've watched it 5 times now, and there are certain things that just keep it from being a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Like
my
Zombie
opinion.
Cop.
Zombie Cop is one of them.
Wow. 9 out
Oh
of 10.
man, I really want to get other people's interpretation of the ending of that, though. I felt like, I don't know,
No,
the baby being stuck was a big
right
thing.
up, right on the board.
I'm telling you.
Yep. This is true. This is true. Well, wow, we're doing good time, gentlemen.
We're
This
doing
is
It was
amazing
awesome time.
Yeah, this is cool. So our main event, I guess we can call it now. And I'm going to say, no, I'm not even going to say, because I've read a few emails that we've gotten with people saying what their favorite was and this and that. I was going to say I have a feeling that this is going to be the listener's favorite, but that may not be the case, because I've seen some different things so far, and we'll get into more of that on the next
It's
show.
very divided.
Yeah, I think it is.
Like any great movie.
Yeah, true. But yes, now we are getting into the original Martyrs.
Wait, the original?
Doesn't that hurt you that you say, fuck off? Doesn't
I watched-
it bother you that you have to say the original now?
Yeah,
That
it
bothers
always
me.
bothers me, dude.
Yeah.
Saying it about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, saying that about so many movies. Please,
Yeah.
Halloween, everything, Friday the 13th. Even though if I did get some joy out of some of the sequels, or pardon me, some of the remakes, I still have I wish I didn't have to say that. I wish I didn't have to say Dawn of the Dead 78.
I hear
Excuse me, 79.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm just kidding.
I can't believe we're doing Martyrs 08, not 16.
Yeah, you're gonna be. Yeah, the whole second half of the movie is gonna be kind of different for you.
Yeah. All right. Martyrs 2008. A young woman's quest for revenge against the people who kidnapped and tormented her as a child leads her and a friend, who is also a victim of child abuse, on a terrifying journey into a living hell of depravity. Yeah, well, first of all, the movie opens up with, I guess we're supposed to assume that Lucy is, about 12, 13 years old at this point? When she escapes and she's just running running through the streets,
Well,
covered in
when
blood.
it jumps to 15 years later, right?
Well,
So I
that's
think-
when it jumps later on.
Yeah, I think you're supposed to figure that she's 8 to 10. I know
That's
she's
what
in her
I'm thinking.
20s. 8 to 10.
8 to 10, I can't buy. She just looks much older.
I don't know. I could see her being my daughter.
Now, Anna looked young. Anna was definitely younger. Anna looked 8 to 10 because she was so much tinier than Lucy when they're in the group home together.
Man, I got to be honest with you. I barely retain all that much from the first 10 minutes of this film. It's almost like I'm waiting for them to be adults. It's because I've seen this movie several times. I'm a fan of the movie, but I'm like, I just want to get to the stuff. So I think I'm not committed to those early
No, that's fine.
scenes.
I mean, it's not a huge thing.
No,
it's
it's
just
a
to set up
precursor.
it's just to set up their relationship so that when you jump 15 years later, you could see, that Anna is basically Lucy's almost like her mother figure.
Yeah, but you could see that she wants her to get in bed with her, even at that age, and the girl says no.
she's
So
in
that-
love with her.
Yes,
that's
yeah,
alluding
she-
to something.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that she loves her, but
Right, and we get to see the thing that's pursuing her. So we get just enough stuff. I don't know how exactly if they needed that scene when she's talking to the principal or whoever, and if that was really necessary, unless there's something I'm missing out on. But I mean, whatever. I'm definitely not going to pick this film apart. I can tell you that this movie is. I wish I can feel the same way as I did the first time I saw it, but I'm not going to let that affect my rating. So when you see a movie so many times, you might not think it's as awesome as it was the first time you saw it, because the first time you saw it, it blew you away so
Blew
much.
your fucking mind.
Right.
Oh.
Right, it did.
I gotta
But
be
it
honest.
does.
The first
I-
time I saw it,
yeah.
I was confused though. The first time I saw it, I was confused a little bit by it.
I feel the
And-
exact same as the first time as I do now, even with the ending and what I thought. But we'll get to that.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
the ending is certainly open to interpretation, but
And they are 10 years old. I checked IMDb,
Yeah, I said 10 exactly.
and they're 10 years old.
all right, that's fair.
I'm on point tonight.
I don't
It's
know.
okay,
what else-
Brandon,
That's reality.
Yeah, your jokes are on point tonight, Brandon. You haven't
Thank
had a
you.
stinker yet.
Thank you.
So yeah, so I can't. I'm the guy that's bringing all kinds of. I'm opening people's eyes. I think.
I like the dreams of this, this feral creature, chasing Lucy and tormenting her.
There's so much to this
So-
movie.
And
There's so
the-
many
this-
different layers. It
Yeah.
doesn't just, as soon as you think something fucking ends, they open a door to something even more. You're like, what the?
Literally.
Yeah, this is
literally
basically going
open you're
deeper
right.
and deeper into depravity.
And
This gets as depraved as possible.
Can I say, but without being a detriment to enjoyability of the movie?
Oh, without a doubt.
And that's difficult to do.
It is difficult to do because this is extreme,
Yeah.
yet it's still a touching, moving story.
Absolutely.
It really
Trouble
is.
Every Day,
And the
like I said, I
performances.
don't need to see again. This movie I'll watch over and over
Yeah,
and over
I feel the
again.
same way. Again, I feel like this was probably only my second time seeing this, but I will definitely watch this over and over.
And so I've watched it. Like I said, I think probably 5-6 times. And I will continue to watch this more than the others. Yeah.
This was my 5th time watching this. I've watched the remake. The remake takes a lot of liberties that, like I kind of alluded to it one time when we talked about it. I didn't go into much detail. It's like a light version of it, so to speak, and it takes liberties at the halfway mark by changing the story completely.
Okay, I haven't
So,
seen it yet. I'll check it out.
Check
but-
it out. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it for you guys. So I won't go into any more detail. But it takes liberties that I think they shouldn't have taken. It's great because they at least try to do something different. But it was a wrong move. That's where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I can
so-
imagine that because I can't imagine them going into something else that's going to top this. I'm not saying
I
it's
want to say
amazing.
something to give you guys a heads up, but then that's a spoiler. So I'm just going to bite my tongue, not off, but just bite my tongue and leave it there and just say,
For now.
check
Don't
it out.
feature yourself.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is okay. So this might give you an idea, prelude to the ending. This is the masterpiece of the French extreme films, and my favorite that we've watched, especially in this batch tonight, and that I've seen. So,
Well,
I'm
there
just
was
gonna
there
put
was
it
a
right there.
reason why I wanted to do it last, also. So if that gives any
Yeah.
clues as to where we're heading.
Right on. That's cool. And I thought you were going to be all about inside. This is good. I'm glad to hear this. You downplayed it then. when we did our top 40.
Yeah. I think I had Inside, High Tension, and Martyrs all as my favorites for those years, I believe.
Way to go out on a limb, Mr. Canadian French.
Yeah. Well, now, hey, it's like I just put the same joke back in from the actual episode.
Nice.
Anyway, but okay, so let's get back to this opening.
Yeah.
Thing.
Basically it ends the earlier scenes, the opening act with Lucy slitting her. Lucy has her wrist slit, and she's laying in the bathtub, and she says to Anna, "It wasn't me."
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's 15 years later.
Yes, and then we meet that.
And then we meet, this perfect father, mother, son, and daughter.
How about that great intro? Let me interrupt. How about when the first time you see the girl in that house and she's running away screaming, you think that they're showing you something else when it's just her playing with her brother.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So cool. Just things like that.
Can
Right?
we go back to the opening shot of the movie? Fucking beautiful. Like, what a way to hook you in.
Oh,
and
great!
And then
Excellent.
through the credit sequence, it's like home movies and whatnot. And then we get to this point. And yes, what a great way! A happy go.
I like those home movies. I really like those home movies.
Oh, they're so.
I like
done.
how they use them throughout the movie. Well, not throughout, but at the beginning and the end.
Yeah, they are cool.
I really did.
I dig that little touch.
It adds a a layer of what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. Layers. All girls have layers. Oh, wrong accent. Sorry.
It softens it a little.
I can dig that.
It softens the edges a little because like we said, it's a tough film.
When they get to this family and what you see happens, you as the viewer, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to, when I give my, my rating, I'm thinking about the first time I saw this movie because it's unfair not to. The first time you see that and she goes through the door and freaking blows people away, I think the viewer feels the same way as is Lucy. Who's the girl with the person chasing him? Anna.
Lucy's chasing him.
Lucy's the one that's seeing
It's shotgunning people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're Anna then. Okay. So I think you're in the same place as her, where you're like, well, are these the right people, or is this this bitch flipped?
I just wondered why she asked the son. I don't wonder why. I mean, I know
I
why.
love that scene.
That's
She
cool.
asked his age, and she is able to do the math and figure out that he was only 3 years old, but she still kills him anyway.
Maybe she considered letting him off for a half a second.
He seemed to not be able to lie. He knew what was going on because it's happening in their fucking basement. It's no secret. He knows.
I was going to bring that up.
And I don't think
they're aware.
I don't. No, I knew. I took it that they're fully aware.
You think they're all aware?
Yep.
The kids?
Later on in the film, everything is so systematic. He's not treating these people like humans or people. He's treating them like subjects to get to the greater good, whatever it may be, what they want to find out, which is what they do to get to the end for Mademoiselle. Done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So where I'm going with that, and in my long-winded sort of roundabout way, is that I feel the kids are totally into it. Like when he almost shrugs, like, yeah, I was kind of aware. And but before you even get to that point, boom, he gets shotgunned.
I saw the shrug too, and that's why I brought it up, because it's like, yeah, it's one of those things because they're so like innocent looking.
Yep.
But that's even more terrifying because that's that's the face of evil. There's
and
no.
it was a family that
It was a family.
who happened to have someone locked up as this is all happening, which we don't find out until like the second turning point, that there's a martyr-esque, which is very intriguing that their eyes are covered. And,
Well, her eyes are covered because of her ghosts. Her ghosts are cockroaches.
That's what the... Wow.
Yeah, remember she started cutting her arm off? That's because she
always feels
sees
like
cockroaches.
Well, they did mention that. I understand that because someone even brought it up, but I didn't.
She's broken, just like Lucy's broken. That's why Lucy keeps seeing this feral woman chasing her and tormenting her in her dreams.
I get that because that's the last
that.
person she saw. I love it too, and the look of it. Oh my god!
But I love how it turns out to be the girl that she left behind.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's fantastic. It's like her guilt is
Yeah,
haunting
it's her
her.
guilt. Yeah.
Just And that's horrific. That's horror.
Yeah.
Now that's horror.
That's horror, right? Nice.
There we go.
Someone else said it. There you go. But yeah, that's horror. All right. That's what you could say when if they saw a Martyrs remake first and then saw this. That's exactly what they could say.
Can I spoil one thing about the remake?
I don't care.
It's a
Why
very
not?
small
care.
thing.
I don't care.
I might never watch it. I own the damn thing. It's been sitting at
Okay.
my freaking house for months. I haven't
Okay,
even
so the
got to it.
skinning. Guess what? In the Martyrs Light version, which is the
He was a
remake-
carrot peeler.
No. She's great.
They only skinned her bean.
No, but yeah. So think of how effectively it was done in the version that we all watched. It's left to your imagination. We're focused on her face
Yeah.
until the big reveal, but we're focused on her face and just the pain that she's going through, and you're just trying to imagine what's happening.
Oh, they show it more in the remake.
They actually show the back being peeled off. Funny enough,
Ah, man.
for a couple of seconds, which is funny because it's hard hitting, but it's still not as hard hitting a movie.
Yeah.
So there's a perfect example of showing me like, well, they didn't show it in the original. We're gonna show it in the remake.
Honestly, looking at Lucy's face.
Yes.
Anna's face, sorry,
More
in the
horrific.
original is more horrific because
Yeah.
of just the beating. Like her lip is split. She's
That's my
She's been
spoiler.
beat-
That's it.
yeah.
I just wanted to say there's a perfect example because this movie doesn't shy away from showing you shit. Like this is hard hitting. It's graphic. It's gory. It's mouth dropping. Like you're just like, what the fuck? However, it also knows when the focus on her face and that is enough to instill horrific images in her head, which are then reconfirmed in a follow-up scene without actually having to show her back being pulled off.
yeah.
And you're just like going, what the fuck?
I like how this movie almost sets up like you feel like it's gonna be Lucy's story.
Right. They
Yeah.
flip it halfway through. It's
Halfway through, all of a sudden, Lucy, does what she does, and I get why she does. It's so sad,
Dude.
when and Anna, she just a little too late to apologize.
Oh man. And it flips.
Oh, my God. So
uh,
what do we got here? We got a beautiful setup from the very opening scene to then this introduction to this family to then the turning point of her being haunted and then what ends up happening to Lucy and then
The discovery of the
when you
lab.
think that's done, it takes a turning point to
then the mother, then the one victim wakes up.
introduce the martyr or whatever the person in the basement. And
No.
then-
One of the victims in the bathtub wakes up, and then they go through all that shit.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
That whole sequence.
the mother was
and,
still alive. Well, that sets
and
it in
hiding
motion.
it and trying to hide it from
That's
her.
because
Trying,
she didn't truly believe Lucy.
right. It's great, and all that stuff, and then boom, 43-minute mark, it all changes, and you get this, and you get a freaking razor slices, and another great one, a freaking a sliced throat. Oh, so
like
so
almost
cool.
like petrol oil comes out of that fucking thing. It's crazy.
it's awesome.
It's nuts. And then just when you think you're like, where can this go next? It's just right down like a spiral into hell. Like it's just crazy when you see what happens next and what propels the story forward, and then how that part gets remedied, only to introduce even something worse. You're like, what the fuck?
And telling you, like I said, it just goes deeper and deeper
Yeah.
into depravity. It just gets more and more depraved. It gets more and more horrific and it shows like some of the more violent stuff early.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then even as it gets tamer, it gets worse for some reason.
So a lot of people are confused about, well, what makes a martyr? And
That whole thing, there you
And-
go.
and the-
I
and
don't
the
like
name.
that speech. It's too quick. I don't 100% get it. They're talking about transfiguration and martyrdom, and it's just so matter of fact. Something about that presentation, that's one of my very small knocks.
You know what though? At the end of the day, it's just a witness, because some people are taking it literal of what it means, but there's like an earlier definition of like a witness to what? A witness to what happens to us next.
Yeah,
Type thing. And that's really-
somebody who's willing to sacrifice
Yeah.
himself to see to witness what will happen next. That goes way above themselves.
Yeah, so
Basically.
what though? I mean, you could do that with all kinds of people. Why would?
But all the
mean-
other people failed. No one ever achieved what she had achieved, and in that case, they were all
So they're
victims.
making man-made versions of this, and so that's where some people argue, well, that wouldn't work. But within the within this movie, I think it works fine. I
Yeah,
never
and
had
I
an
love
issue.
I love the images.
I never had
of,
an issue. Yeah. Oh,
I just don't get the end game when she's giving the speech, I don't buy it. That's okay. I just wish it may have been presented a different way where maybe a dummy like me could have understood exactly what she's saying, because it doesn't make sense to me that they'd be doing all this based upon a look in somebody's eye. We're just going to keep freaking beating people to death and doing all this stuff because the way these pictures
Well, they want
look,
the answer.
They want, yeah.
how do they know
yeah.
there is an answer? Just because of the
Because
look
she
in the
They
eye?
don't.
got it.
They don't. They
Well,
want.
Yeah, so they're going to go through all that. It's a lot to go through. It's dangerous. It's cruel. Despite what your end game is, it's a cruel thing to do to another human being.
Absolutely.
It just
Well,
seems
they'll
a
treat them- that's what I'm
lot to
saying.
do.
When he's with Anna, which we witnessed for a long, that's my one quibble of the movie.
Too long? I agree.
It goes a little too long.
It does go on too long, but it has to go on too long.
Yeah.
Right, the
has
first
to.
time I saw it, that's right, exactly. It does. You got to go back to the first time you saw it and the effect that it had on you.
Yes.
And that is why it has to go long. Since in retrospect, we're sitting here now after seeing this enough times saying
Now we don't. Now we want to just go
long.
past the scene and get right. To
Right, but the first
Yeah.
time you see it, you're wowed by it. You're stunned by it, and that's the impact of this film. That's what makes it powerful. And let me say, her performance is probably the best performance of all 5 movies we've talked about tonight. And they're hot, these girls. Oh my gosh,
Oh man, I have a big crush on Lucy.
I have a crush on both of them, but maybe even Lucy over. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I guess it depends on the day of the week or how I feel next time I watch.
Oh, I'd love to flick your bean.
But yeah, they're hot. But unfortunately, they don't stay hot very long.
Especially with no skin.
Yeah, that's kind of it's a deal
Oh,
breaker.
my
When I said
Lord.
get comfortable, Lana, I didn't mean take off your skin.
It's
And zero comedy in this movie. By the
yeah.
way.
There's no relief
Nope.
from what you're
No,
seeing.
this is a
at all.
haunting
Awesome.
movie.
Awesome.
This is a haunting movie.
It's special, man.
It really is. You know, I got to admit, even the speech was confusing me because I was
It is.
watching and pausing and writing stuff down. I'm like,
Right. You just don't. I understand.
the most horrific thing when she said it's like, you know, they've been experimenting for 17 years. They've been doing this
Right.
on everyone, on children, and they basically found that young women were the best at achieving this transfiguration,
Right.
this higher level, this euphoric state.
Without giving answers. Well, they do give answers because what Mademoiselle does sort of alludes to the fact that she got the answer she was looking for. Yeah, I
think
don't
she
know.
does?
This is
Really?
extremely debatable.
Here we go.
And
I think. How about this?
go ahead.
Well, I don't care if we're spoiling
She's
this.
a martyr.
Yeah.
She became a martyr in a manner of speaking. How about that theory? That freaking she doesn't want the others to know what she knows, so she takes herself out of the equation and makes herself a martyr herself. Bam. How about that?
Bam! Like the
Well, I have read that theory before, and I like it, but
Can't be anything good. That's what I've always. The very first time I watched
that's
this
so
movie.
fucking bizarre. I took it the other way. I took it that she heard and she couldn't wait to get to the point, so she kills herself.
Why'd she say keep doubting then?
keep doubting.
That doesn't sound like.
Yeah, she says to ATN, "Can you imagine?"
Right.
Imagine what there is after death.
What do we all
And he-
do every day of our lives? We doubt that there's anything beyond.
Yeah, but
I mean,
he
don't-
says no,
Yeah.
and then she says, "Keep doubting."
Yeah.
Keep doubting that you don't know what's after death. Keep doubting that you don't know what's after death, ATN, because what's after death is so beautiful or so horrible. It's so beautiful I have to kill myself because I can't keep this secret and not everybody should know this, or it's so horrible that you keep doubting and I can't live anymore knowing that this is what's coming. I'm just going to end it right now just to get it over with. I know what people
It
are
could go
saying.
either way.
Well, if
Yeah.
it's something bad,
I-
why would she be in such a rush to get to death? Could you
Martyrdom.
live with Could you live with the truth knowing what's something horrible was coming?
She doesn't want to tell the others what she knows. That's
Maybe.
why she does it, because they're all going to be fucked up too over it.
You know
Yeah,
what?
but the
That
whole-
makes my enjoyment go up even more so. However, it does. It really does. The fact that but you know what though? The reality is that I feel like if we're all scared of death. So if you think it's something ugly or that is not what you want to hear, I wouldn't be rushing to it. However, if you think it's a euphoric state,
You couldn't live knowing something horrible. I couldn't live right now knowing, oh, I'm doomed for eternal hell. Like that would, like I couldn't.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be in a rush. I don't know. I guess
really,
everyone's
I wouldn't be in
different.
a rush to go about my day. Be like, I would be like, that's it, it's over.
I wouldn't be in a rush to die. Though.
No, that's exactly it. I would feel that like again, it could be ambiguous,
No.
and that's what makes it a great ending. Then I guess, but the reality is, I would personally view it that if she heard something horrific, she wouldn't be in a rush to get to that point. That's how I view it.
But that's why
I'm not
she's
sure
a
about
martyr.
that. I think if you hear something horrific, you might be just as quick to end it if you know you're doomed for that anyway, and not to spoil your lot of people who are doubting.
Yep. I'm telling you, I love that.
So she martyrs
Duality.
herself to protect the greater good of her people.
She, in essence, becomes a martyr. That's
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Now
that.
the question is,
Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh, that's fan freaking tastic.
the question is Anna? Well, we see the scene where Anna's basically staring up. She's doing the look now. She's achieved this final stage, and she's staring up, and you see almost like a white light tunnel. You see that there's something, at least from her eyes. She's seeing something.
Yeah.
And then when she's talking to Mademoiselle, yeah, I mean, we're never going to know what she says, but is she able to feed her a lie? And that's her last act of revenge against Mademoiselle?
Right. I thought that too.
Or maybe there is something beautiful after.
She speaks too long for it to be something good. If it was bliss, she talks to her for like 30 seconds. If it was bliss and something paradise and something amazing, she would just have to utter a few words.
Well, did you look at Mademoiselle's face? She's listening like ooh, ooh, and then her face becomes blank, almost as if Anna's telling her, yes, there's something beautiful, but because you've
not gonna get
spent your whole life doing what you've done,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen for you ever.
I've thought that the very first time I saw the movie. I didn't think it that deep. I thought simple as this. I thought that she told her that you people are all going to hell for what you're doing. A very basic thing.
It could be as basic as that. I love that.
I always thought just
there's
that.
half a dozen different interpretations for it.
And truth be told, if you're religious and you commit suicide, you're going to hell anywhere. The whole thing was that you're not supposed to commit suicide
Right.
to speed up the process. I mean, if you want to take it from that literal
Well,
point of
that
view
was
as well.
another thing. Like,
I don't think it's a heaven-hell type of thing that
Well-
they're getting at. I think it's just an afterlife. And
yeah, because they don't really get into religion because they never really talk about God or anything, but they, it could have been like, there's something out there for all of us after, and there is no God, and it's indifferent, so it doesn't matter what you did here. It's the same for everyone, which would be a horrible ending. But it's a possibility. There's all these different possibilities.
But she says it's clear as a bell. I can see no other interpretation. That's her answer.
Yeah, so whatever she was told,
Gotta be negative.
She was told definitively, and I believe it was negative. I want to believe it's negative because I don't want to kill myself after watching this movie.
I've always thought that.
Anna has literally lost everything. She lost her childhood. She lost her best friend, the love of her life. She lost her skin.
Poor thing.
She lost her bean.
She lost her mind.
She lost her mind. She lost her bean.
Yeah, it's a lot of loss.
It's gut wrenching.
It really is. It really is. And the whole thing with their relationship, that's an interesting thing too. That she's, even her mother, her own mother, when she called her, she's like, "You're not stuck with that girl, are you? She's crazy." So she's totally into this girl in every way. It's like the love of her life in every way, in a homosexual way, heterosexual way, whatever it is.
Yeah.
In any way possible, sexually, mentally, she loves this girl. She would do anything for this girl.
Yeah.
This other girl, I think, loves her back, just not in a way that includes making love.
I think Lucy. I think it's not even necessarily important why Lucy doesn't love her back. Actually,
right.
let me say it this way. It's not that it's not important. I think it's just you look at what Lucy came from. She was basically raised her whole life strapped to a chair. So she's completely damaged. She can never have a normal relationship. So I think Anna represents her mother, her love, everything. Like, I don't think she can think in terms of sexuality with all the abuse and everything she went through.
Probably not. How long do you think she was in that chair for? I never thought a lifetime. Not a lifetime, but
A couple of years, probably.
You think that long? I think she'd be dead long before that, considering what quick work they made of Anna.
Well, they say they advanced from when it was. They were doing it for 17 years, and she's 15 years, so it could have been up to 2 years. enough time where
I can only imagine somebody enduring that stuff a little while. Like that girl that we saw with the stuff over her eyes. What an amazing scene that we didn't mention. When she gets her up there and she takes the stuff out of her. Oh man, that
she takes the
gore.
screws out of her head.
Oh. We can't underestimate the blood and gore in this movie. No matter for anyone that hasn't seen it. On top of this crazy plot and all these interpretations.
But that ending is I mean, that ending makes the movie. That ending is the movie.
That ending is what it puts.
And there's also the whole when she finally reaches this breaking point where she's been beaten to a point, she starts basically communicating with Lucy. Lucy's talking to her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that to me tells me like, okay, like Lucy's almost like her guardian angel now. It's like guiding her. Like you're almost there.
That doesn't sound horrible and depressing.
No,
though.
It wouldn't be horrible for her. She did nothing wrong, Anna.
No, but I'm saying that if she's being able to converse, what I mean by that is that there's some good there in the afterlife.
Oh, there's that. I would believe
her.
there is. Yeah,
her,
absolutely. And I would think either one of two things.
Yeah.
She would either tell Mademoiselle that you're going to hell because you were bad and the good place is not for you, or there's nothing. And she was able to lie to her and tell her there's nothing.
So she committed suicide
So she committed suicide because her life's work has been for nothing.
Beautiful.
Man, I tell you, this
man, I want to watch it again right now.
Here, I'll help you because I could see our time. 10 out of fucking 10. This movie.
Wow.
That's what I give it. 10 out of 10. Done.
10 out of 10?
Exploded head.
Okay. Yeah. Full head exploded.
My balls, too. Like, everything head-wise on me. Just
all
gone.
heads.
Yeah.
Everything head-wise on you. All right. Awesome. Blown. I'll tell you what. 9.5. I'm not going full 10, but I'm going 9.5. And the reason I'm not going full 10 is the what I said before about the speech and stuff like that. But I mean, come on, 9.5.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's not fun. Well, like I said, the reason why I'm glad we did this one last is because this one was by far my favorite. 10 out of 10.
Yeah!
All right. And 29.5 points is
Wow.
undoubtedly our second. Is it second?
Second,
Yeah.
Rosemary's Baby.
All right, our second Hall of Famer. Yeah.
This film, oh man, this film just blew me away. And now it's time to flick our beans.
While watching
timing?
the film. I dare you to do it while watching this film.
No.
This film?
As
I could to the girls before they're killed, maybe. Not the young girls, of course. But let me rephrase it. Anna and grown-up Anna and grown-up Sarah. Is it Sarah?
Lucy.
They're covered in blood for half the movie. I mean, I don't think they're not with blood on them for more
can't.
than like a minute.
Maybe when they shotgun the daughter. Nah. As depraved as I am with my comedy, no, I could never do that.
Well, there's only one way to find out. I'm going to put it in and try.
All right.
See if it works.
We should record that episode and all try together.
Yeah. It'll be our first video.
Our first video commentary. Yeah, bukkake party.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Disgusting. But you know what? I'm glad this came into Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
I kind of thought two might make it, but I definitely thought this one was gonna make it because I knew I was coming in high on this and Inside.
Yeah, I figured one of you two would give it a 10. I didn't necessarily expect both of you, but I had a feeling.
Honestly, I was close to saying 9.5, but honestly, this is one of those movies where the questions left is what makes it so good. So thought-provoking, whereas when we talked earlier about not enough for Trouble Every Day, it's more like frustrating and confusing. Whereas this one, it can be confusing, but it's thought-provoking, and you can come up with your own interpretations, and they're all good, and they're all horrifying. Some are beautiful, some are terrifying, some are less beautiful, some are less terrifying, but it just ultimately just works, and it's perfect, in my opinion.
It's great, and I forgot to add a couple things about this flick. I love that shot with the feathers when she goes in there and she tears it up in the bedroom and shit, and you see the feathers coming down. Like, I don't know if it's slow motion or not, but you know what I'm talking about when they first get in the house. That's awesome. And when she's stitching herself up, man.
Well,
and it's the noise. I made this noise during this film and a few others, and it's just that movie invoked that from me because most don't. But I'm watching the movie and I notice I go like that.
That's a delicious Dr. Pepper.
Where I'm just like, man, just wincing with their pain and just being amazed at the gore I just saw.
Sounds like you need to see a urologist. That burns.
Well,
Sorry. Okay.
with respect to our listeners, I'm going to honor the 30-minute timeline, and
yes,
that's it.
Yes.
I'm kidding. I just wanted to put you guys on the spot.
Mr. Respectful French Canadian over here.
I love that. I mean, people knew I loved this before coming into this thing. Like I said, 3 of these made it onto my top movie of the year for the respective years.
Well, buddy, see, and you got to freaking gush all over him tonight.
I mean, more than gush.
Report back.
It's great, man. I'm happy we did this. I'm shocked we were able to do it as quickly as we did. I love this new format. I think we should abide by it with most of our reviews.
Yeah. Why not? It's fun. It's fun. Keeps us from being long-winded.
It does.
And it gets less jokes out of Brandon.
That's always a good thing.
Whoo! I'm cracking the jokes now.
Bada boosh.
So, let's get the hell out.
I will gladly martyr myself for the greater good of exploding heads.
He's the horophilia martyr. I can't even talk.
And for the greater good of the podcast.
Yeah, we are exploding heads. We're stroking out. I'm telling you. One of these days we're going to be on the show. Someone's going to stroke right out. His head exploded. It's over. So we don't know what we're doing next show. How's that, guys?
We have no clue.
We don't. We had a couple ideas. We tossed around 3 different movies. We don't know, but it's going to be just one movie.
I don't even remember 3 of the movies we tossed around. I think I remember 1.
I can tell you 3. 31.
That I remember.
Neon Demon.
Oh, nice.
And Don't Breathe. That's what we discussed. We don't know.
Now I'm excited, though.
Maybe you guys tell us. How about that if you get this early enough? I don't know. If not, well, sorry.
That's up to me.
Take what we can give you. It is up to the editor. It's the editor. Don't mess with the editor.
Anyway.
So, yeah, we're going to go.
I love all of you. I love you all.
We love you, too. See how happy he is?
Yeah, I got to drink more.
He's French extreme euphoric drunk bastard.
Yeah, that's him. Are you going to be this way when we do New Blood, Brandon?
I can't.
What is with the love on that site? I think these people are trying to fuck with me.
No, honestly, I had to pick the movie because Dave put my name in the title.
The new Brandon. I love it.
I had to pick it then. I was looking at the other choices. I was like, oh, I'm going to go with this. And then I saw Friday 13th 7, the new Brandon. I'm like, there it is.
But there's people that are bucking it. They're picking it. It's the fuck. I'm like,
those are true Friday fanboys and girls.
No, I'm a true.
I know, right? What is this? Save it for another day.
Another day. Another day, another dollar.
We almost made a show without saying those 3 words. Take a drink. It would have been the first one.
I mentioned Roy earlier.
You can mention Roy.
When Christian said he figured out the end of High Tension. He said, yeah, you figured out like I figured out Roy.
Oh. Nice.
I didn't, like I said, I didn't figure it out. It just happened to
but
be.
you're like,
wouldn't it be cool? And then the movie starts playing. I'm like, holy fuck, it's happening.
I'll be honest with you. A long, long time ago, I saw an episode of, I don't know what TV show it was, but it had a very creepy storyline, and I said they should make this into a movie. And then years later, they made Orphan. It was basically that storyline where there was a kid killing people, but it wasn't a kid.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, ooh, this needs to be a movie. And then Orphan came out. I'm like, fuck, they stole my movie idea.
Well, yeah, let's go. Episode 21 is coming next. We're gonna the review. We don't know what it is, but we're gonna set the alarm again, probably for 40 minutes, not 30.
And the drawing.
And we got a drawing. We got some. Obviously,
we got a ton of shit.
We got some swag.
I'm gonna watch some found footage.
Swag.
I'm gonna finish my challenge.
Yes, found footage, challenges. So much gonna happen. It's just gonna be a fun show and a review, and that's all we got. Maybe we'll be number 1 again. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but. It'll be a lot of fun. So,
thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you for listening.
Everybody.
Yeah, let's call it a night. So, we'll see you guys later, and keep doubting.